Hey, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Plainfield Varsity Football, powered by AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Beacon Sign Company, Jimmy John's, Niagara Bottling Company, The Hardware Store, 3 Pints Brew Hub, Wicker Construction, Impact Insurance Restoration, Inc., Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, which is a subsidiary of Dom Companies. I'm Doug Edens, and along with me is, of course, the award-winning play-by-play guy, Brian Scott.
Thank you, Doug. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Plainfield Quaker Football on Audio Sports Online. Tonight we come to you from Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts. And it is a matchup of Hendricks County schools as the Plainfield Quakers will take on the Danville Warriors this afternoon. Both teams coming off of season-opening losses last week. For the Plainfield Quakers, they lost to a pretty good Columbus North team by the score of 28-13. For Danville, well, they had a really tough matchup last week. They took on the New Palestine Dragons. The Dragons made a deep run into the playoffs last week, and that explosive offense of New Palestine put up 61 points against the Warriors, and Danville could not score a single point in that game. It's a tough year for the Warriors. They only have 38 players dressed for this game. It's a very thin team. It's a team that you're going to see a lot of players playing both ways. And for the Quakers, this might be a good game where they can get back onto the winning ways on the ledger. Again, Doug Edens is joining me. And, Doug, you saw this Plainfield Quaker team play last week against Columbus North. And while it's not the result the Quakers wanted to see out of that game, there was some positives to take out of it.
Well, you know, they were playing against a veteran squad from Columbus North. The year before, of course, it was the first time they'd ever played. They were at Columbus North for that game. They held off the Bulldogs, the host Bulldogs, 34-32. They were up sizably, and Columbus North made a run at them, and Plainfield got out of there alive, 34-32 last year. So this, I'm not sure how long they're going to be playing, but last week was kind of an eye-opener. It was the first start for quarterback Colin Nicewander. Has sort of a family connection. Grandparent, I believe, has been involved in Plainfield athletics along with an aunt or a parent. And he had a tough time, 5 of 14 on the night. And Plainfield themselves, they lost their leading running back, Jacob Maples, who was their starter last year. He was the bread-and-butter guy last year, 19 touchdowns. They lost him for the year, apparently. Early in that particular ball game. They scored first, but Columbus North, being the veteran team, came back 28 unanswered points to kind of salt that one away. And special teams was another plague for Plainfield. Poor coverage on all sides of the ball for the Quakers. A snap over Morgan Hagee's head set up North with a very cheap touchdown, 1st and goal to Quaker 5. So I'm sure it was a learning experience. And I heard the interview with Brian Woodard. He said it was a young team and that they would have to grow up in a hurry. And I'm sure that last Friday was part of that process.
As he mentioned, we saw the loss last week of Jacob Maple, junior running back. John Finch is going to step in at the tailback position tonight. He's a 5'7", 160-pound junior. He got 4 carries for 21 yards last week, did score a touchdown in that contest. And as we've seen from Plainfield over the years, in an era where we're seeing spread offenses, and we're going to see it again tonight with Danville working a lot of spread, a lot of hurry up, this is one of almost the last bastions in high school football in some regards, where we're seeing a more traditional I-backfield, one-back, going to try to run the ball as much as possible, and then throw it when we need to.
Yeah, I think that when you look at a Brian Woodard coach squad, you're going to look at that. He kind of was raised with in the Chuck Chonacamp mold, the former Quaker coach, Coach Woodard, and Avon Product, who was a starter for them for a few years. And I think that's what you're going to see is a very conservative look to it, and run with your strengths. And he believes those power kind of plays, as you mentioned, the I-back is part of his bread and butter. On the other hand, unfortunately for Plainfield, they were really pushed around last week. Their defensive line has a lot to atone for tonight, and you know, we'll see. And I'm kind of excited that Game 3 of the Lucas Oil Showcase here at the stadium, as you mentioned, the home of the Colts, and We've got one coming up after this one. I'm not sure I'll be able to stay for that one, but Indian Creek and Greenwood will tee it up, a Mid-State Conference team. At the half, we're going to be looking at what happened with Plainfield's conference last week and also last night. And since this is a Saturday, we're going to be looking at that. And if we have time, we'll look at Hendricks County since Plainfield is in Hendricks County and so is Danville.
Doug mentioned some of the issues that Plainfield had last week offensively. Defensive line, well, maybe not one of their best efforts. But when you take a look at their linebackers, Tevin Tomlinson, he is a 5'10", 205-pound junior linebacker, 19 tackles last week. The Quakers had 4 tackles for loss last week as well. But Tevin Tomlinson was a real bright spot in that linebacking core.
Yeah, and that they were kind of touted preseason to be pretty much the strength, since that's who they lost last year. It was they lost all 4 of their backers last year, and so they're looking at replacing all those guys. And as you said, they did look very, very good. Columbus North was able to run a little easier than I thought they should, but of course I'm biased in that regard. So, but yeah, we'll see. And there wasn't really a lot of call for the Plainfield secondary. So we'll see what happens if Danville can get a passing game going tonight.
Meanwhile, Danville coming off of a very, very disappointing loss last week, 61-0. I'm sure head coach Russ Sumner was hoping to see something to at least hang their hats on against a very, very good New Palestine team. But before Danville knew what was going on, it was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and it was 47-0 at the half. By that time, New Pal had put in the second team early in the third quarter. It really wasn't anything that I'm sure Coach Russ Sumner could take a look at the game film and be happy with. Again, this is a very thin team. Talking with the Danville coaches before today's game, they list 46 players on their roster. They said there is only 38 of them here dressed. So many of these players are going to have to play both ways. You're going to see quarterback for Danville, Christian Shavel. He is a sophomore. He threw 6 of 20 last week for only 45 yards. Rushing the ball, they pretty much were looking at Jacob Sherrill. He is a senior, rushed 13 times for 48 yards. But against that New Pal defense, things were pretty tough on the Danville Warriors last week. Danville runs, if you haven't seen them, a spread offense. In the past, head coach Russ Sumner has even foregone punts and going for 2 for point afters and the like. Now with a thin team, we'll see if maybe the strategy changes. With many of these players going 2 ways, it's going to be interesting to see whether Danville's going to elect to try to keep this high-paced, high-tempoed offense when these very same offensive players that are running all over the place to try to get up and down the field offensively now have to turn around and get back on defense.
Yeah, of course, I think this might be to their advantage, although slightly, that it is going to be a faster field. It's not totally artificial turf, but usually this kind of turf is a little bit faster, I think. So we'll see what happens. And, of course, this is almost like a national spotlight to be at the, at Lucas Oil Stadium. And so that always kind of pumps people up.
Defensively for Danville, Austin Scammerhorn, he had a fairly nice night against New Pal, 11 tackles last week from his weak side linebacker position. And Benjamin Jones also came up with 11 tackles, but unfortunately for the Warriors, he's a safety.
Yep.
And you don't like to see your safeties in double digits in tackles. They'll have a very tough test against Plainfield this afternoon, as the Quakers right now, if you're watching on your video monitor, they are the team in white. They will be the visiting team in this afternoon's contest. Danville, they've already gone back into the locker room, and I'm sure Coach Russ Sumner trying to give them a little bit of a pep talk. And you try to bring players a little bit back to earth, as you mentioned, playing here at Lucas Oil Stadium. When we think of the games that are traditionally played here, we see a lot of 6A schools.
Yep.
I happen to have been here last week to cover Avon versus Lawrence Central, a lot of big-time schools. But kudos to the Indianapolis Colts and to Ray Compton's strategy and the people here at Lucas Oil Stadium. They always try to make sure that they allow a lot of the high schools in and around Indiana to come here, play on the turf. Today is a fine example of that, where a lot of the schools that are here today, well, they're not a lot of names that you're going to remember, Plainfield and Danville, well, of course, you're Central Indiana. And as Doug mentioned a little bit ago, you've got Greenfield taking on Indian Creek, or Greenwood, Greenwood has been good in the past, maybe not so much this past couple of years, especially last year, if I remember right. But Doug will be talking about that at half. We're going to take a timeout. Doug's going to pay us some bills here. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about today's game and have the opening kickoff. This is Quaker Football on ASO.
The Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting the Red Pride football program. They're located at 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388, 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible. Impact Insurance Restoration is Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration, located at 2340 East Perry Road in Plainfield. Monty Collins and our friends at Impact Restoration are the people to call if you need repairs, because service is everything and relationships matter. You can call 268-6375. That's 268-6375 for more details. Wicker Construction for more than Wicker Construction for more than 2 decades. They have engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. The Three Pints Brew Pub is an excellent place for great food. I'm going to have to learn to talk here in a minute. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site and features a family-friendly atmosphere. Would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. That's 829-1000. Their hours are Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. We want to thank our other fine sponsors as well who have made tonight's broadcast possible: Jimmy John's, the hardware store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies. You know, Brian, back to Brian Scott and play-by-play here just before the kickoff. I just wanted to mention something that last Friday broke a string of 9 consecutive opening game wins for the Quakers. The last year of Chuck Schwanenkamp, and then all 8 years for Brian Woodard. So they're kind of in an unfamiliar position, being 0-1 on the season. Plus, they do have something going for them, and maybe not, depending on what Coach Sumner has to say about it, to the Warriors. This will be the 9th year they play Danville, and they've won, this will be the 10th year they played Danville, and they've won all 9 since they have come back to playing Danville in their schedule.
And that's something that when you take a look at this type of rivalry or this type of matchup, especially being an inter-county matchup, and it's something that I'm sure the Danville folks are well aware of.
Oh, yeah.
And it's something that, especially at a neutral site, you always want to win at home, but you'd love to get one at a place like this as we're getting ready for football here tonight, or I should say this afternoon here at Lucas Oil Stadium. So Danville, they're really going to be wanting to, of course, have their best effort. It's likely going to be a very long season for head coach Russ Sumner and the Danville Warriors. After tonight's game, they will travel to play Crawfordsville. Then they will host Tri-West. And the Tri-West Bruins, since moving to 3A, have proven themselves to be well deserving of that move up in class.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, in that rivalry they've been having with West Lafayette and the Red Devils, West Lafayette scores a touchdown under a minute left. Instead of going for the tie with the traditional point after, goes for 2, gets the 2 points for the win. But Chris Cole and the Bruins, they are going to be a very, very tough matchup. But the rest of the Danville schedule, you take a look at it, there's going to be hard-pressed to find some wins on that schedule. They'll play at Webo, then Lebanon, Southmont, Frankfort, and North Montgomery. Crawfordsville, that might be a bit of a game that they might be able to do something with. But when you only have 38 players, it's going to be a really long season for Coach Russ Sumner and the Danville Warriors. The Quakers have come out to the field. They are just moving away from the midfield stripe. We are waiting for Danville to make their entrance from the the northeast tunnel. That's to our left here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's give you the particulars for this afternoon's contest. As I mentioned, the Plainfield Quakers and the Danville Warriors both lost their opening games of the season last week. The head coach for the Danville Warriors is Russ Sumner. He's 15-18 in his fourth year at the helm of the Warriors. Head coach of the Plainfield Quakers, Brian Woodard. He's 54-35 in his ninth year at Plainfield. Over the last 20 years, Doug has mentioned that over these last 9 contests, that Plainfield is 9-0. Over the last 20 years, they are 10-2. That includes a 55-16 victory last year in this matchup. So we are about ready to get underway here from Lucas Oil Stadium. We're so glad that you could join us this afternoon for Quaker football on Audio Sports Online. I want to remind all you fans that all of our broadcasts here on Audio Sports Online are also available for a free on-demand replay at audiosportsonline.net. And before we get going, we are going to, I believe, have our national anthem. A fine rendition of our national anthem as we get ready to kick this one off between the Plainfield Quakers and the Danville Warriors. My name's Brian Scott. A broadcast partner for tonight's game, or this afternoon's game, however you want to look at it, is Doug Edens. It is warm, it is muggy outside. There is a threat of showers and thunderstorms, and it really doesn't mean a thing where we are this evening, as the roof is closed here at Lucas Oil Stadium. The windows are open at the north end of the stadium, but no worries about either rain or thunderstorms this afternoon. We know that some of the college games, I think the IU game against Indiana State earlier this afternoon was delayed 30 minutes due to lightning, but no such problems here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Presentations are being currently made down on the field as they give some presentations to both Quakers and Warriors. Plainfield will be dressed in white with the red numerals and the red helmets, and the Danville Warriors in the maroon jerseys and pants with the white numerals. If you can see on the monitor, yes, that is the full extent of the Danville Warrior team to the sideline nearest us. Again, only 38 players in this contest. They had 46 listed on the roster, and for Coach Sumner, that's going to be a very, very tough thing to overcome when you are having players that will play both ways. So as we broadcast this game this afternoon, a lot of the names you hear us talk about on offense, you're going to hear them on defense as well. One of the exceptions will be, again, starting quarterback Christian Schabel, a 5'11", 165-pound sophomore. Captains are currently meeting out at midfield, and what is always a big, big deal here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Across the way, as you look on your monitors, Red Pride is very well represented here at Lucas Oil Stadium this afternoon. Danville fans, they've also made a nice trip here to give support to their Danville Warriors. But should have a good football game, hopefully, for you this afternoon, as they are having the coin toss right now down at midfield. And the Quakers, I believe, have won the toss, and
now they're switching sides.
So Plainfield has won the toss, and they will defer. Originally, it looks like they were going to receive, but they will defer. So Danville will have the football to start this football game, and we are so glad that we can bring it to you right here on Audio Sports Online. Again, as I mentioned before, if you want a on-demand replay, go to audiosportsonline.net. Also, you'll find that this game by sometime tomorrow afternoon will be on YouTube as well, so you will be able to share it with your friends on Facebook or Twitter. Send the emails to links to email link to friends and family. That's all right here on audiosportsonline.com. Doug, we're going to get a look at the Plainfield defense to start out this game, and what's one of the things we kind of that I think a lot of coaches, you see coaches say, we'd like the ball, but a lot of times they'd like to see if their defense can get that first early stop and then give the ball to their offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that after what happened last week, I'm sure that Coach Woodard is really excited about that particular opportunity and maybe to make some adjustments if he needs to. It'll be a little bit different with Danville as opposed to Columbus North, but it'll still give him sort of an eyeball view of what he needs to do.
Morgan Hagee is set to put a foot into it, and he will kick it deep. Dylan Boyd and Trevor Schubert, and it will be Boyd with the football. He'll get past the 20 and out to about the 25-yard line, and that is where the Danville Warriors will start on offense in this game. They will run a spread offense. Their offensive line is Austin Scammerhorn, Cody Caudle, James Banich, Cameron Caudle, and Austin Wodashek. What I will call the wingbacks are Jonathan Curtis and Nick Gilliam. The wideouts are Dylan Boyd and Logan Knotts. The H-back is Ben Jones, and the quarterback is a 5'11", 165-pound sophomore, Christian Schabel. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Danville Warriors at their own 25. Here is a give right up the middle, and taking it is Ben Jones, a 5'11", 170-pound senior. And that is how this football game begins for Danville. For the Plainfield Quakers, a 3-4 front. Matt Moeller, Bryce Biddle, Nick Rowan, the defensive linemen, Tevin Tomlinson, Hunter Leifert, Coy Anderson, and Brad Wicker are the backs. Corey Bennett and Jaeger Burnett, are the corners, and the safeties are Dayton Clements and Mark Dahm. On this second down, here is Ben Jones again, and he'll pick up 9 yards up to about the 39-yard line, and the Warriors have their first down of the game.
Well, the offensive line's doing a pretty good job sealing off the middle and giving them a lane to run through, kind of like what Columbus North did last week.
The Warriors, they will not huddle as they send the wide out to the far side. Here's Jones, finds some room around the right side. Nice hole opened up, and Jones will pick up a little more than 5 yards, close to the Warrior 45-yard line before he is brought down. It'll bring up 2nd down and about a long 4, maybe 5 yards. Plainfield again showing down a 3-man front. They'll bring a man in motion, but the give is to Jones. He will go straight up the middle before he is brought down. I believe Bryce Biddle was the Quaker that was able to bring him down, but not before Jones picked up about 4 yards to the 49-yard line. He'll bring down 3rd and 1. Schabel will check over to the offensive sideline, get the play from Coach Russ Sumner as they send Gilliam out to the far side, who will join Dylan Boyd. Here's the give to Jones, finds some room around the left side, and he will have the 1st down before Hunter Leifert can bring him down, but another 1st down for the Danville Warriors.
Well, they're mixing it up just the way they want to do it, and I think that no huddle may be bothering Plainfield a little bit.
Warriors have the ball in Quaker territory at the Plainfield 48-yard line on this 1st and 10. This time on the option, they pitch it back. It's loose. It is picked up by the Quakers, and running it in for 6 is Dayton Clements, a 5'11", 185-pound junior. On the option, it looked like Christian Schabel was trying to pitch it out to Ben Jones. They couldn't hook up with it. The ball is on the carpet, and Clements was able to pick it up and run it in for 6. Looking at the replay, it actually looked like Ben Jones might have been able to get a finger on that ball and just lost it. But Dayton Clements will run it in for what I believe will be about a 48-yard touchdown return. Morgan Hagee, this excellent senior kicker for the Plainfield Quakers, on for the point after. Hagee, 5'11", 150-pound senior, puts a right foot up, and the Plainfield Quakers defense puts the first points of the game on the board. With 9:55 left to go in this opening quarter, they lead the Warriors 7-0.
The Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting Red Pride football. They're located 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388, 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. And also special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible.
Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. It is the Quaker defense that comes up big first as Dayton Clements, 48-yard recovery or return of a fumble, leads to 7 Quaker points. And Morgan Hagee is once again out to tee it up and send it to either Dylan Boyd or Trevor Schubert.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one thing that can always spark your team is that kind of a return.
Schubert will take it to the 25, and he will finally be stopped at around the 26-yard line. And the Warrior offense will once again come out onto the field, but this time they trail by the score of 7-0. The first drive for Danville, until that fumble, they were doing some nice things offensively, and a lot of it can be attributed to the running back Ben Jones, but his fumble is the difference in the game so far. But we are still early in this first quarter.
Yeah, I think that they really kind of set themselves up for that pitch on the counter, but it was just a matter of execution, and they weren't able to complete it.
So Schabel and the Warrior offense return to the field as they'll start this drive 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. They will bring a man in motion and give it to Jones, but Jones is going to be stopped up. Or actually, that was not Jones. That was Jonathan Curtis, wingback, 6 foot, 185-pound senior, and Bryce Biddle among other Quakers in on the tackle. It's a short gain, maybe about a yard. We'll call it 2nd and a long 9. Lining up to the left of Schabel will be Jacob Sherrill. They'll play action pass going downfield. Schabel looking, and the pass is incomplete. Looked like he was looking for Tanner Hubbard, a 6'2", 200-pound junior, but well defended and overthrown by Schabel, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, that was nice coverage by the Quaker defender on the outside shoulder like that, or check that on the inside shoulder.
So 3rd down and a long 9 yards to go for Danville. This is their second drive of the football game. Their first drive ended in a fumble recovery by Plainfield, taken back for 6. Quick little slant over to the right side. Pass is complete, but well short of the first down.
Now will Danville go for it? They've been known to do it.
They have been known to do it. Pass was complete.
It was a nice completion.
As it was Connor Montgomery with the catch, but Coach Russ Sumner, with a better discretion, the better part of valor, will send out Ben Jones to punt this ball away. Standing deep for Plainfield is Dawson Anderson.
Watch the fake. Now he
little
kicks.
Rugby kick, but they'll be taking it to 42.
Oh,
Anderson to the 50 and inside Warrior territory to about the 46, 47-yard line. That was actually John Finch on the return.
Well, that was a nice heads-up play by Finch. I mean, it could have backfired. He could have fumbled it. But, you know, the punt was right to him like a one of my shank long irons.
And it is something we see in high school football a lot more often, are these rugby-style kicks, especially when you look at a player like Jones, who is a running back. Colin Nicewander, he is on for the Quakers as they'll start this possession out of the I in Warrior territory. They give us to the tailback, Finch, and he will run it right up the gut down to about the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 4. For the Quakers, they'll run this multiple I look across the offensive line. Alex Ray, Jacob Morris, Jacob Spray, Connor Kennedy, and Nolan Russell. The tight end is Devin Spalding. The wideouts are Dawson Anderson and Clayton White. The fullback is Tristan Southwood. The tailback is John Finch, and the quarterback, a 5'10", 165-pound junior, Colin Nicewander. This time, Colin will work out of the gun. He will give over the left side. This is Finch. He will find about 4 yards before he is stacked up at the Warrior 36-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 3. Defensively for the Warriors, they will use a very common defense in high school. It's called a 3-3 stack. The defensive line is Sam Steers, James Banich, and Cody Caudle. The linebackers are Austin Scammerhorn, Woody Harp, and Dylan Boyd. The corners are Jonathan Curtis and Peyton Perry. And the safeties are triples, Nick Gillian, Ben Jones, and Bryce King. 3rd down and 3. Here comes the pitch. Coming to the near side is Finch. He will cut it upfield, and he's going to be very close and will have a 1st down. Needed 3, got about 4 yards down to the Warrior 32-yard line, but it'll be a 1st down for Plainfield as they keep it on the ground.
Well, that was a nice cut by John up, as you can see in the monitor, the replay monitor, and a nice closing by Danville, but he made the cut right at the right time.
So 1st and 10 for the Quakers at the Warrior 32-yard line. They'll send trips left as the tight end is right. This time, Nicewander out of the gun. Play action, rolls to his left, has some pressure, throws it downfield. Looks like he was just trying to throw that football away, looking for Clayton White, but good pressure by Danville. It forces Nicewander to throw this one away. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was good recognition by the Warriors. They didn't panic on that particular play. They didn't get suckered in, so it was a good defensive play by the Warriors.
White will go to the far side along with Dawson Anderson as the backs line up in an I behind Nicewander. 2nd and 10. That is Finch in motion to the near side. The give is a keeper by Nicewander, and it's going to be blown up on a very, very nice play by the strong side linebacker Dylan Boyd, a 5'10", 175-pound senior. Good recognition by Boyd as he stayed home, didn't bite on the play fake, and he's able to bring Nicewander down back to the original line of scrimmage at the Warrior 32-yard line, where we'll be 3rd and 10. Warriors with an I back with Bryce Biddle as an H back, but the give is to Finch. He will go right up the middle. He's going to be tripped up. Looked like Austin Scammerhorn might have been able to at least bother John Finch and trip him up. It's a gain of 4, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 6 for Plainfield.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach decides. I'm not sure if it's in the range.
He's not going to send Morgan Hagee out, so they're going to go for it on 4th and 6. Ball at the Danville 28-yard line. They need to get to the 22. I-backs behind Nicewander. As Colin bends under center, play action pass, he'll roll to the near side. Looks downfield, wide open in the corner, and in the end zone for the touchdown is the tight end, the 5'11", 230-pound junior, Devin Spalding. He leaked out. Nobody picked him up until it was too late, and it was a nice pass from Colin Nicewander.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Nobody picked him up, and they were all too responsible for the quarterback. And by the time the defender got back there, it was way too late.
Spalding with good concentration coming over trying to make the tackle was the safety Bryce King.
Yep.
But that's a mismatch. King 5'7", 148 pounds going up against 5'11", 230 pounds. And he simply couldn't drag the big fella down before Spalding got into the end zone. Hagee on for the point after. Bad snap, good hold. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 5:19 left to go in this first quarter, and the Quakers extend their lead over Danville. They lead 14-0. This is Quaker football on ASO.
Well, that was an excellent drive, too, Brian, just as you mentioned. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair, while exceeding client expectations and delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction, 839-8353. And the 3 Pints Brew Pub is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. 829-1000, 3 Pints Brew Pub.
Morgan Hagee set to kick this one off as the Quakers lead the Warriors 14-0. It'll be taken at about the 8, up to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and run out of bounds at about the 25 is Dylan Boyd, and the Warriors will have their third possession. After the Quakers, they go on a 43-yard drive in 7 plays. It takes 3 minutes and 3 seconds, and Colin Nicewonder is passed to the tight end. Devin Spalding is good for 6 as Morgan Hagee puts on the point after, and once again the Warriors now come out to the line of scrimmage trailing by 14 points with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. Schabel will give it up the middle to Ben Jones. He had coming around was Trevor Schubert from a wing position, but he gives to Jones up the middle, and he finds very, very little running room before Bryce Biddle, that nose tackle at 5'11", 250-pound sophomore, brings him down for a gain of not even a half a yard. 2nd and almost 10. That's Schubert in motion, and this is a busted play. Schabel looks like he wanted to hand that off to the tailback or the running back that was to his right, but everybody was already moving, and in the end he's forced to just take it himself. He might get a couple of yards to the 29, and that's all. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
That was the second touchdown pass of 3 touchdowns that the Quakers have scored this far.
So the Warriors will look over to the sideline as Jones will line up to the left of Schabel out of the gun. Play action pass. Schabel back to pass. Looks to the right side. Pass is complete. It will be close to the first down marker as Peyton Perry on the reception, and he will have enough for a first down.
Yep.
Coming over to make the tackle was the free safety Mark Daum, a 6', 180-pound senior, but it is good enough for a Danville first down as Perry brings it in. Nice job by Schabel. Was patient, allowed that play to develop, and makes the 3rd down conversion for the first. Here is a keeper as Schabel looked like he was trying to put it into the belly of Jones and then elected to take it out, and he's not going to find any running room whatsoever as a whole clad of white-shirted Plainfield defenders led by strong safety Dayton Clements, who had the fumble recovery for a touchdown, bring him down. 2nd down and 10. Ball remains at the Warrior 38-yard line. Clock moving, 3:33. Here is Jones, finds some room around the left side, and he's going to pick up about 5-6 yards up to the Warrior 43-yard line, but another 3rd down play coming up for Danville.
That was a nice little stutter step delay on that particular run, and it almost succeeded.
Nice stop by the free safety Mark Daum to keep Jones from gaining any more yards, and another 3rd down for Danville as Schabel will play action pass. He will toss it up. Pass is complete.
Nobody's even close.
And nobody, as Doug said, was even close as Peyton Perry once again comes down with a catch. A 5'11", 165-pound senior And a nice throw by Schabel. Anderson was beat on the play, Coy Anderson, and before the help could come, the Warriors have it into Quaker territory at the Plainfield 41-yard line. Here's a give to Ben Jones, and he's going to be brought down. Penalty flag comes flying in as Matt Moeller, a 6'2", 220-pound junior defensive end, made the tackle. And let's see what the penalty flag's all about.
Looks like it's our first one of the game.
2 minutes, 51 seconds remain in quarter number one. Plainfield with a 14-0 lead over Danville. Along with Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott as they push the Plainfield players back. So beginning to think this might go against Plainfield. As the referee with the old palms outstretched saying, what do we got?
Yeah.
And they are discussing it in detail. Danville so far, if you take away that fumble recovery and then they were almost on a 3-and-out, they've moved the ball. It's an illegal use of hands that it will go against Danville. And what we didn't know was that it was fumbled. We did not see any notice that the ball had been fumbled, and the way the Quaker players reacted, there was no
indication.
No indication from them. We're going to take a look on the replay as it is going to be stripped, and Bryce Biddle came across and knocked it out, I believe, with his shoulder pads.
Uh-huh.
And the Quakers have the ball 1st and 10. Nice Wander looks downfield. Pass is complete at the 48-yard line. Pass is made, the catch is made over here on the near sideline by Clayton White. It's a pickup of about 6 up to the Quaker 48-yard line. It will be 2nd down and about 4. So we did not see the strip, not until we saw the replay and the second turnover of the game. And this time the center quarterback exchange does not go as intended, as Jacob Spray, the center, and Colin Nicewander, the quarterback, have a little bit of an issue on the center quarterback exchange. But Nicewander able to fall on the ball. But now it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 5 from just beyond the Quaker 47-yard line. Tight end left, eye backfield. Here's the pitch. Finch has it, looks for some room, and a nice play as Danville comes up. Making the play was the strong side linebacker, Dylan Boyd, a 5'10", 175-pound senior. He blows that play up for a loss of 2 back to the Quaker 46-yard line, and Morgan Hagee's going to be on to punt.
Yeah, that was a nice submarine tackle that he made, too. Very, very good play.
So after the fumble recovery, it looks like the Quakers are going to have to go 3 and out. Back deep is Dylan Boyd. Hagee, Boyd calls for the fair catch, and he will do so at his own 19-yard line. And that is where the Warriors will once again try to get something going on offense. They have moved the football, but Doug, they right now, a couple of turnovers have really, really hurt them, and they'll look to see what they can do on this drive.
Well, they were fortunate that this last turnover didn't cost them anything. Plainfield 3 and out, and had excellent field position. They could have still had possession, but they're fortunate that it was not costly for them.
So Christian Schabel brings the offense back onto the field, and he will work out of the gun to his left, Ben Jones. And he will give it. This is actually running over onto the right side. Was not Ben, it was Jacob Sherrill, 5'10", 177-pound senior. He will get some nice yardage up to about the 24-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. Sherrill giving Ben Jones a spell, as now the backs will and we'll have movement as getting a bit of a head start on that play was Jacob Sherrill. He was the tailback to the right of Schabel out of the gun. It is one of the dangers you have when you have a team that does so much motion and shifting. Sometimes you get players moving. In that play, you were either going to be a false start or you're going to have an illegal motion.
Yeah.
Schabel, play action pass, fires over, and the pass is incomplete. Had it intended for Trevor Schubert, a 5'10", 160-pound junior, and Schubert just off the end of his fingertips. Schabel may have let him just a little too much.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Schabel's got all kinds of time. And Plainfield doesn't have any kind of a pass rush right now. But we'll see as the game progresses.
But it's 3rd down and 11 for Danville. 1:02 remains in this first quarter. Quakers up 14-0. Again, play action pass. Schaber's going to go down long, and the pass is going to be incomplete. He was looking down that seam for Logan Knotts, a 6', 155-pound junior. And Schabel showed he's got a bit of an arm. He ended up overthrowing that ball by a good 3 or 4 yards.
He had a trio of defenders there covering as well. So Plainfield reacted pretty well to that one.
It'll bring up 4th down, and on to punt will be Ben Jones. He had that rugby-style kick the last time.
Yeah.
John Finch back deep for the Quakers. He'll stand at the Warrior 45-yard line. Jones will get this one away, and end over end. That'll be fielded at the 46. Finch will keep his feet and finally get pushed out of bounds. And once again, a line drive kick that he took on the fly. And the Quakers get excellent field position. 48 seconds left to go first quarter. Back in a moment.
All right, we'd like to thank our other fine sponsors who have made tonight's broadcast possible, including Jimmy John's, The Hardware Store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, which is a subsidiary of Dom Companies.
Quakers will have it 1st and 10 from the Warrior 33-yard line. They are up 14-0 as Colin Nicewander in an I backfield. He will give to the fullback. That is Tristan Southwood. He is still rumbling, and he will rumble all the way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, dragging Warriors behind him.
Well, I'll tell you, I was very impressed with him replacing Jacob Maple last week, and he doesn't look like he has stopped. He's kind of picked up where he left off.
Warriors doing everything they could to try to strip the ball. But a good job by Southwood to hold on. 1st and goal just outside the 9 for the Quakers. Gives to Finch. He looks for some room over the right side. He will pick up about 4 down to the Warrior 5-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and goal. Clock moving, 23 seconds. The Quakers can elect to let the game clock wind down if they so choose, and that's exactly what they are going to do. The game clock will wind down in the first quarter here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and as it does so, the Plainfield Quakers, they lead the Danville Warriors by the score of 14-0. You're watching Plainfield Quaker football on Audio Sports Online.
And you're also listening to Plainfield Varsity Football, powered by AudioSportsOnline.com as well. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Beacon Sign Company, Jimmy John's, Niagara Bottling Company, The Hardware Store, 3 Pints Brew Pub, Wicker Construction, Impact Insurance Restoration, Inc., Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, which is a subsidiary of Dom Companies. And the Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting the Red Pride football program. They are located 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388. That's 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the Beacon Sign Company. Also, special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible as well.
We will switch ends of the field as the Quakers will have it 1st and goal, leading 14-0 alongside Doug Edens. I'm Brian Scott. Second quarter action about to get underway as Plainfield will have this 2nd and goal from the Warrior 5-yard line. 3 wide receivers this time, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. Tight end right for the Quakers as Nicewander awaits the snap. He will keep the ball after faking the handoff to Southwood, and he will find no running room whatsoever before he is brought down. A host of maroon-clad, I should say, Danville Warriors, and actually it looks like Colin's going to lose a yard. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, I think they might have saw something that maybe that play might have been opened, but obviously they were wrong. Danville had a different idea about it.
It's a nice wander. This time they'll go out of an I-back set with two wide receivers to the top of the formation. Now they'll bring a man in motion to the near side. The give is to Finch. He will look for some room on the left side, and he is going to be stacked up. As coming in to make the play was Jonathan Curtis, a 6 foot, 185-pound senior cornerback for the Warriors, and it's going to bring up fourth down, and this time Morgan Hagee will trot out to the field for Plainfield.
Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised. This, of course, gives Danville, even if Hagee misses it, an emotional victory, but I'm really surprised they're not going for it here.
It's a 22-yard field goal attempt for Hagee, pretty much from the left pro hash. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 10 minutes and 40 seconds remain in this first half of play, and the Quakers extend their lead 17-0. This is Quaker Football on Audio Sports Online.
For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations and delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. That's 839-8353.
The Quakers get a nice punt return deep into Warrior territory, but the Warrior defense, they stiffen up at the goal line. They limit Plainfield to simply a 22-yard Morgan Hagee field goal, but the Quakers do extend their lead to 17-0 as Hagee is on to kick this ball away. Dylan Boyd and Trevor Schubert back deep for Danville. Hagee with a right foot kicks it deep, and it will be Boyd at the 2 to the 15 to the 20, 25. Finds a little running room, and he will finally be wrapped up and brought down. Tackled by the Quakers' Clayton White, but the Warriors with a nice return. They'll take it up to, they'll finally spot this football at the 30-yard line, but now Danville finds themselves trailing 17-0 with 10:33 remaining in this first half of play. Christian Schabel out to guide the offense. The Warriors have moved the ball, but the Quakers still pitching a shutout. Here is Schabel. He has the running room to the 50, to the 40, 35, 30, 25, and finally he's pushed out of bounds by Mark Dahm, but it's a gain of over 50 yards all the way down to the Quaker 20-yard line.
Well, I think it was just a matter of time before that would pop. He is such a good athlete, and New Pal, of course, found a way to keep him in check.
It's a nice play by Mark Dahm to save the touchdown, but the Warriors now in business at the Quaker 20.
Yeah.
Working out of the gun is Schabel. He has Jones to his left, and he will keep it and head right up the field before he is power slammed down by the linebacker Hunter Lyford for Plainfield after a pickup of about 2. Second down and 8 for Danville as we approach the 10-minute mark left to go in quarter number 2. This time working out of the pistol. The give is to Jones right up the middle, and he will pick up a few yards before Bryce Biddle was able to knock him off stride. A pickup of a couple down to the Quaker. Well, they'll give it down to the 16-yard line, but now it's going to bring up third down and 6. Tanner Hubbard is the wide receiver lined up at the far side. Trevor Schubert is the wingback left. As the give is over the left side to Jacob Sherrill, and he will take it down to about the 11.
I thought he was in for a first down, but it looks like they're marking him short a little bit. This will be the 5th straight quarter that Danville has been shut out.
Peyton Perry actually with the run. This
Nope.
is Ben Jones, and he is going to find no room because Bryce Biddle plugged up the hole, and then Coy Anderson came in to help finish him off, and he is going to be shy of the first down marker. So it's going to bring up 4th down and 1. Or actually, no, that was 4th down, so they turn it over on downs, pardon me.
Oh, my, I thought it was.
And the Quakers will hold Danville on a nice play. Biddle plugged up the hole, and Anderson came by to make sure Jones couldn't stretch the ball across for the first down.
Yeah.
And the Warriors will turn it over on downs, and the Quakers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 11-yard line with 9:01 left to go first half, leading 17-0. Colin Nicewander, before this play can go anywhere, flags will stop it. As we look to have an illegal procedure, it's a dead ball foul and a false start called against Plainfield. So not what you would like to see backed up deep in your own territory is 5 yards pushing you further back to your own goal line.
Yep.
They'll spot the ball just shy of the Quakers' 6-yard line. Clock shows 8:59 left to go first half. Plainfield with a 17-0 lead. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Glad you could join us this afternoon for Quaker football. Backs in the eye. Nicewander will keep it, and he will go nowhere as Austin Scammerhorn, the weak side linebacker, read that play nicely and limited it to just a couple of yard gain by Nicewander.
Yeah, they're reading that play very, very well and preventing Colin from getting anywhere.
Ball spotted at the 7. 2nd down, about 14 yards to go. Wide receivers will go left and right. That's Dawson Anderson and Clayton White. I backfield behind Colin. Tight end left. Here comes the pitch to Finch. Finch looks for some room, doesn't find a whole lot before he is brought down. Jonathan Curtis in on the tackle. Ben Jones to help for Danville. It's a pickup of maybe a couple to the 10, but it's going to bring up 3rd and about 11. Quakers keeping it on the ground. And we'll see if they play conservatively here and just try to plug it up the middle and let Hagee get a punt away, or try to take a chance downfield on this 3rd down and a little more than 10 yards to go. I backs. And it's a play-action pass. Colin Nicewander fires downfield. Pass is complete at the 20 and up to the 25-yard line. Clayton White gets just past the sticks and was able to turn it up and get a few more yards, and that's what you want to see out of your receiver. Know where the sticks are, get the first down, and then get a few extra yards.
Yeah, nice reaction on that play. Good completion.
1st and 10, Plainfield from their own 25-yard line. Backs in the eye, and this play is all busted up as Nicewander is going to look for some room, and he's not going to find any. Finally bringing Colin down was Jacob Sherrill. You could tell Colin wanted to give that to Tristan Southwood, the fullback, and Tristan was nowhere to be found as one of them went either Colin or Tristan went the wrong way on the play. Colin ends up being sacked for about a 5-yard loss back to the Quaker 20-yard line, 2nd and 15.
Well, I'm sure Mark Sanchez was looking on.
Trips wide to the right. This time Colin will work out of the gun. And it's a handoff. This is Finch. Looks for some room. Bounces off of one defender. He'll pick up a couple of yards up to about the 24-yard line. But now we're back to 3rd and long for the Quakers. Finch found some room before he was finally brought down. Tackle made by Ben Jones, the safety, but it's 3rd and 11 for Plainfield as the clock winds. 6:49 left to go first half. 17-0, the Quakers are in the lead. Zach Archer now is a wide out to the far side of the field. Backs in the eye, 3 down front for the Warriors. Pitch is to Finch. Looking for some room around the right side, and he will not find a whole lot of room there. Dylan Boyd, the strong side linebacker, comes in to make the tackle to limit John to a gain of about 3 up to the Warrior 27-yard line, but now it's 4th and 8.
Well, they had that play-action pass going for the first down. I'm really kind of surprised they didn't go with that.
So Morgan Hagee on to punt. Back deep, Dylan Boyd for the Warriors. Boyd will stand at his own 40-yard line as Morgan will stand at about his 14. Good snap. Get this one away. Not one of Morgan's better kicks as he shanks this one badly over to the right out of bounds. And
wow.
They will back up, and now this ball is going to be well in Quaker territory after a punt.
Well, that's the weirdest spot I've ever seen an official make, frankly.
And the ball will be spotted at the Quaker 40-yard line. That punt had a net of about 13 yards, so not one of Morgan's better punts.
Yep.
And the Quakers will now watch the Warriors take the field on offense. But it's Plainfield with a 17-0 lead and 5:57 remaining in this first half of play. Schabel in the offense for Danville, back out onto the field as he works out of the gun with Ben Jones to his right. Pitches to Jones, looks for some room, eludes one tackle, and finally coming in to make the play for Plainfield is Luke Miller, a 5'10", 175-pound senior linebacker, but a penalty flag also on the play.
Well, they caught number 34 for Danville hooking the pursuing end to the inside on that play, which is why that was called. Probably why it worked.
It was a pickup of only about 3 yards on the play, so Coach Brian Woodard will discuss what they want to do, and it looks like they're going to push him back. Holding against Danville. And it will remain first down as when they finish marking this one off, it'll go all the way back into Warrior territory at their own 47-yard line. So first and 23 now for Danville, and this time Schabel all alone in the backfield. He'll roll to his left. Looks downfield, well defended. He finds the player coming back up, and the pass is going to be ruled incomplete. He was looking on that sideline, on the near sideline for Peyton Perry. And Perry couldn't haul it in, and that's going to bring up second and long.
It was a little too low. He was throwing against his body, which is, unnatural anyway when you're a right-hander and you're going to your left. It was a nice little crossing route, but unsuccessful.
So second and 23 as the clock stopped at 5:42. Here's a give right up the middle. Sherrill looks for some room, and he will finally take it back into Quaker territory, down to the 38-yard line. He will be tripped up by Yager Barnett.
Yeah, it was nice play downfield by the Warriors wide receiver and some good blocks and excellent blocking at the point of attack.
So now a much more manageable 3rd and 8 after the Warriors were pushed back to a 1st and 23. Once again, Sherrill to the right, play action pass. Schabel down the middle, down the seam, pass is incomplete. Had a nice idea right there as he was looking for the wingback Nick Gilliam running down the seam, but the pass was slightly behind Gilliam. He couldn't haul it in. It'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they called Plainfield for a personal foul, roughing the passer. So,
penalty flag back at the 46-yard line. So, while the Quakers haven't been penalized a whole lot in this game, this is a doozy. Because what would have been 4th down, now it's 1st down, all the way down to the Quaker 23-yard line. So a roughing the passer penalty against Plainfield gives the Warriors a 1st down at the Quaker 23-yard line. 4:59 remains in the first half. This is Sherrill. He will dive across the 20, and they'll mark him down at the 20-yard line, a pickup of about 3 on the play. Both teams with full complements of timeouts, but the Quakers with a 17-point lead. Danville with the football, and it's a keeper by Schabel, and he is going to be tripped up, and holding on for dear life was Dayton Clements as A Warrior loses his hat. That was Jacob Sherrill, and, of course, he's going to have to sit for a play.
Yeah, he lost the last one the last time he was out, I think.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for Danville. Ball spotted at the Quakers' 16-yard line. Nick Gilliam will move out to a slot position to the left. There's Schabel, waits. There's the give right up the middle, Ben Jones, and he has a nice run down to the Quaker 11-yard line and a 1st down for the Warriors.
Well, I think Danville has seen something. They're duplicating what Columbus North did last Friday, and Plainfield needs to sew it up. They can't afford to be run all over the place like they were last week.
Matter of fact, the Quakers are going to talk this one over after that last run, and they call a timeout. 4:02 left to go first half. Quakers lead 17-0. This is Quaker football on ASO.
And the Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting the Red Pride football program. They are located 9305 East US Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388, 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Also, a special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible.
Along with Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. 4 minutes, 2 seconds remain in this first half. Quakers lead 17-0. Danville on the move. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the Quaker 11-yard line. A big roughing the passer penalty sustaining this drive, as it would have been 4th down for Danville. They got the 1st down on the roughing the passer penalty, and now they have it 1st and 10 at the Quaker 11. Christian Schabel, the sophomore quarterback for the Warriors, will hand this ball off. This is Jacob Sherrill, looks for some room. He's going to be popped after initial contact was made by Brad Wickard. Yager Barnett came in to finish him off for very little gain on the play, maybe a half a yard just inside the 11. It'll be 2nd down and a very long 9.
Plainfield in a 3-man front.
Working that 3-4, 4 linebackers. Perry in motion, but the give is to Sherrill right up the middle, and he's going to find very, very little running room. He'll plow forward for a few yards before he's knocked back by Tevin Tomlinson, the 5'10", 205-pound junior linebacker of the Quakers, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 from the Quaker 8-yard line. Clock on the move. 3:07 remains in this first half. Again, the Quakers with a 17-0 lead. Ten seconds left on the play clock as Schabel will hand the ball off, and getting around the right side, eludes one tackle, eludes another, and rumbling it in is Jonathan Curtis, the 6', 185-pound senior, and the Warriors are on the scoreboard.
Well, their first touchdown in almost 6 quarters, and just very, very poor tackling on the part of the Quakers on this particular drive. And the 43 misses him badly, so does the corner coming up.
Warriors will go for 2.
I guess that's what that is.
Though Brandon, it is one of the odder formations you will see. They will swing it up to the left side with the football. Schabel passes out, and he's in is Trevor Schubert. Out of that formation, they bring all of the offensive linemen to the left side. They put Schubert behind them. They allow Schabel to just simply swing it out.
Yep.
And going in for 2 is Trevor Schubert. And the 2-point conversion is successful. It's now 17-8. Back with a kickoff in a moment. This is Quaker football on ASO.
The Three Pints Brew Pub is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. The hours for the Three Pints Brew Pub are Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30.
The Warriors march down the field 40 yards. They do so in about 8 plays, and Jonathan Curtis runs it in from 8 yards out to give Danville their first points of the season, and they trail the Quakers by the score of 17-8. 2 minutes, 50 seconds remain in this first half of play as Brandon Siller ready to kick this one away. Back deep, Dawson Anderson and John Finch for the Quakers, though they're standing at their own 20. And Siller will kick this one away. And it'll be taken at the 15, up to the 20, 25, 30, and off to the races. 50 to the 40. Siller to beat, and Siller knocks John Finch out of bounds. The kicker has to save the touchdown. He does so at the 29-yard line, but an excellent return by John Finch.
Well, just when I knock the special teams, they come up big. And special teams last timeout set Danville up on a 40-yard field. And, of course, Danville executed it. And now I've come back and given the offense a little bit of life here in the short field against the Warriors.
And we're going to have a timeout called by head coach Russ Sumner. They didn't have quite the defensive personnel that they needed out on the field after that good return by John Finch. So he will elect to use a timeout. With 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go, first half, Plainfield leads Danville 17-8.
For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. And Impact Insurance Restoration is Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration, located at 2340 East Perry in Plainfield. Monty Collins and our friends are the people to call you if you need repairs. Service is everything. Relationships matter as well. It's 268-6375 for more information. That's Impact Insurance Restoration.
Quakers 1st and 10 from the Warrior 29-yard line after the nice return by John Finch. Back to pass. Nice wander. Looking in the end zone. Incomplete. Had Dante Keys in the end zone. Keys had a step on the defender, and the 5'10", 175-pound sophomore just couldn't bring it in as the Orioles go for the home run on the first play after the long return.
Well, that was kind of out of step for them to do that.
Keys had a step on the safety, Nick Gilliam, just couldn't bring it in, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Back to the I backfield is Colin bends under center. He will give to the tailback Finch, who will plow straight ahead. And finally they'll stop him up, though they won't be able to bring him down. As coming in was Dylan Boyd to kind of help hold up John Finch, but not before John picks up 5 yards down to the Warrior 24-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Clock moving as we approach the 2-minute mark left to go in this first half of play. Dante Keys will go out to the far side as the Quakers send 2 wideouts to the near side. As Colin Nicewander works out of the gun. Play action pass. He'll roll to his left. He has all sorts of green field. Stutter steps, loses the football. Ball is loose, and Danville comes up with the football. Nick Gilliam picks up the loose ball as Colin Nicewander, trying to get some extra yardage, coughs up the football, and Gilliam is able to haul it in for Danville. Well, now we're going to have a discussion.
Was he down before he lost it? Yeah, I don't know. Looked to me like he was not.
Does not look. That is what head coach Brian Woodard is asking on the far side. Was he down? There is a personal foul penalty against Plainfield after the recovery. So not add insult to injury, not only do the Quakers cough up the football, recovered by Danville, then they are tacked on a 15-yard personal foul penalty. So nice Wanderers fumble and the recovery by Nick Gilliam, and then add 15 yards. That'll put the ball at the Danville 34-yard line where they will have it 1st and 10 with 1:45 left to go in the first half. All have 2 timeouts, trailing 17-8.
I'll tell you what, they can bring this to within 1. They put it in the end zone.
So Schabel gives the ball. This is Jones. Jones plows ahead, and he's going to pick up some nice yardage before he is brought down by the linebacker Brad Wicker. It's a pickup of 9 yards up to the 44-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 1. Clock continues to move. 1:27 left to go in the half. Schabel play action. Here comes the rush, picked up nicely. Schabel down the field, has a man open, and makes one whale of a catch. Peyton Perry with another catch, and this one, all we can say, it was pretty. He comes in, hauls it in for a big gain into Quaker territory.
Right off the shoe tops. Watch this on the replay. Yeah, that's just excellent.
Perry going down, had to come back behind his body to bring it in. 1st and 10 at the Quaker 37. All kinds of time for Schabel. He's looking for Perry again, but this time good coverage, dragging across the field by the Quakers' Mark Daum. Pass is incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. 1:10 still remain in the first half.
Well, he let him a little bit too much on that play, and I think he kind of realized that after he released it.
So Peyton Perry quickly becoming a favorite target for sophomore quarterback Christian Schabel and the Warriors. Schabel works out of the gun, has Sherrill to his left, Jones to his left. He gives it to Jones. Jones plows ahead for a few yards before he is brought down. Hunter Lifeford, among others, in on the tackle for the Quakers, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and long, and Coach Russ Sumner is going to call a timeout, his second, with 1:06 remaining. 3rd and 8 will be the down when they come out of this timeout. The Warriors, they've moved the ball, and, at times fairly effectively against the Quakers. Right now they've had problems putting it into the end zone except for that last nice run. But they are moving the ball effectively. In Plainfield, well, we could probably sit here and say they've got chances to be up by a much bigger score than what they are right now.
Absolutely. And, you're talking about an offense that's only put 10 points on the board. And the other touchdown came on a defensive play. And I think Coach Woodard will probably have some things to say to that offensive unit. Again, the execution is just not crisp, and they're not opening holes on defense. Too, it looks like Danville is kind of taking up where Columbus North left off last week, opening a lot of big holes, especially up the middle.
3 wideouts in this package for the Warriors on this 3rd down and 8. They'll fake the handoff. Schabel over to the left. Penalty flags fly. Intended receiver was Peyton Perry. And we'll see if we don't have any illegal contact. This looks like it's in the defensive secondary. Quakers starting to pile up a few penalties if this goes against Plainfield. Let's see what the call is. Holding. It is defensive holding.
Wow.
What was 3rd and 8 is going to be a automatic first down on the defensive holding. And this was a drive that, after the fumble, there was a personal foul that gave Danville a free 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and what would have been 4th down, the defensive holding penalty will give the Warriors another set of downs, 1st and 10 from the Quaker 25-yard line with 1 minute and 1 second remaining in this first half. Danville still with a timeout in their pocket. They trail the Quakers 17-8. Schabel with Jones to his left will keep it. Pressure around the end. He gets the ball off, and it is complete and into the end zone for the touchdown on a nice throw to Nick Hamilton, a 5'10", 148-pound senior. Schabel, with pressure coming from his left, stood in there and delivered the ball downfield on a nice play by Hamilton. He beat the defender, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So Nick Hamilton on a 25-yard touchdown pass from Christian Schabel, and we'll look at this same formation again where the offensive line is to the left with Trevor Schubert. And they will swing it out there. This time the Quakers, they saw it once and they knew what to do the second time. Is coming in to make the play was Matt Moeller to blow that one up. But the Warriors trimmed the deficit to 3 on the 25-yard touchdown pass, Nick Hamilton from Christian Schabel. And with 56 seconds left in the half, the Quakers now find themselves leading by only 3.
Yeah, they kind of melted down in a hurry there. 17-0, and now all of a sudden 17-14.
Sophomore quarterback Christian Schabel is starting to show for Danville fans that if he is given time to throw the ball, he makes some pretty good decisions, and he's put the ball on target on several occasions. This time, once Hamilton was able to beat the defender by just a step, that's all he needed, and Schabel laid it in there nicely for the 6 points. Point after is no good on the 2-point conversion, but it is still only a 3-point lead for the Quakers. 56 seconds remain on the clock in the first half. Quakers still have a pair of timeouts. Brandon Siller ready to kick this one away. The last time, John Finch with a nice run, but the Quakers weren't able to capitalize on it on the Colin Nicewander fumble. And it's a short pooch kick. Fair catch called for, and the player that recovered the football was not the one that called the fair catch. He had no idea that a fair catch was being issued. As John Finch ran up, called fair catch, but it was Alec Wall who actually caught the football and started running with it. There's no penalty on the play, but the play is dead at the point, which is at the spot, which is at the 31-yard line of Plainfield. 53 seconds remain in the half, and the Quakers, who once led by 17 points, now see their lead trimmed to 3 at 17-14 Plainfield, as Colin Nicewander will bend under center with backs in the eye. He will hand off to John Finch. Finch will barrel ahead and pick up about 5-6 yards before Ben Jones brings him down. The ball will be spotted at the Plainfield 37. They look to be in no hurry as the clock moves. 36 seconds remain in the half.
I think they probably feel fortunate if they can hold on to this lead and try to regroup.
As Doug mentioned, if not for a Plainfield touchdown on a defensive play, and right there, Colin Nicewander, nowhere to go. He looked for a receiver downfield, but Sam Steers, the defensive end for the Warriors, able to bring him down, a loss of 5 back near the original line of scrimmage. And Coach Brian Woodard said, let's just take it to the locker room and talk this one over.
Yeah.
The Quakers got on the board first on a defensive touchdown. They extended their lead to 17-0, but the Warriors have hung in there, and they head to the locker room, trailing the Plainfield Quakers by the score of 17-14. Want everybody to make sure, stay right here, because after a few messages, Doug Edens will be back. He'll tell you what's happening in the Mid-State Conference and all the other great high school football stuff going on in Hendricks County. You're watching Plainfield Quaker football on Audio Sports Online.
And here at the half, we thank you again for listening to Plainfield Varsity Football, powered by AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by the Beacon Sign Company, Jimmy John's, Niagara Bottling Company, The Hardware Store, 3 Pints Brew Pub, Wicker Construction, Impact Insurance Restoration, Inc., Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Daum Companies. The Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting the Red Pride football program. They're located at 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Special thanks go out to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible. Also, Impact Insurance Restoration is Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration. Located at 23 East Perry Road in beautiful Plainfield, Monty Collins and our friends at Impact Restoration are the people to call if you need repairs, because service is everything and relationships matter. You can call 268-6375 for more information. And for more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. Also, the 3 Pints Brew Pub is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about the menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. Their hours for the 3 Pints Brew Pub: Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30. Other sponsors, again, Jimmy John's Hardware Store, The Hardware Store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies. Now at the break, everybody, thanks so much. This is Doug Edens, as Brian mentioned. We're at the home of the Colts for Game 3 of the Lucas Oil Showcase. Just got finished a little after 4. Well, it wasn't that late. Anyway, the first game was at noon, Winnemac and Pioneer. 2:40 p.m. was Brownstown Central versus Charlestown. And, of course, tonight, Plainfield and Danville that we're doing. And at 8 p.m., Indian Creek will be playing Greenwood. That'll take care of high school football for this weekend. Wrapping up week 1 in the Mid-State Conference, the Quakers' streak of 9 straight opening night wins ended last Friday. 28-13 was the final, loss to visiting Columbus North. The visiting Bulldogs piled on 250 yards rushing while holding 5 different Quaker backs to 93 yards on 33 carries. And also Jacob Maple sidelined, and I'm assuming he's out for the rest of the season. I don't even see him listed on the roster early in the first period. He was last year's leading rusher for the Quakers, 19 touchdowns, 1,428 yards on the ground. Plainfield only had 93 yards on 33 carries. And the visiting Bulldogs harried quarterback Colin Nicewander. He was only 5 of 14 after striking first early on a touchdown pass. Quaker special teams continued to plague Plainfield this year in that opening game. Poor return coverage, a snap over Morgan Hagee's head on a punt that set North up with a cheap score at the Quaker 5. Elsewhere in conference action from week 1, Decatur Central, going alphabetically, Decatur Central got a pair of scoring runs from Dakota Sidwell, 265 yards passing from Tommy Stevens, but lost to visiting Franklin Central, 26-21. Franklin crushed host Seymour, 61-7, marking the Grizzly Cubs' 4th straight victory over the Purple Owls. Greenwood lived up to their preseason billing, 56-28 pasting of visiting Perry Meridian, as quarterback Tanner Skeel led the effort with 5 rushing scores, a 76-yard scoring pass play to Dylan Rossix. Also, wrapping up week 1 in the Mid-State, Martinsville came from behind on the road to clip host Darien Catholic 28-24. Mooresville came up empty in a 7-0 loss at Lebanon, and Whiteland lived up to their preseason hype, 43-14 victory at Lafayette Jeff. Hendricks County results from week 1. Avon lived up to its bowl billing, as Brian mentioned in his pregame. Lucas Oil Stadium last Friday, overcoming a 23-7 halftime deficit, 38-31 victory over Lawrence North. Brownsburg was never in its loss to visiting Pike. The score was 59-19. It was never really close. Quarterback Hunter Johnson threw scoring strikes to Tyler Kurtz. And Tox Akinrabadi. Didn't think I could pronounce that, did you? Brian's over here laughing at me. He had a cross-country scoring jaunt of 75 yards, but 31 points in the third quarter by Pike salted the game away. Elsewhere in the county, Cascade lost its home opener in a 10-8 squeaker to visiting Crawfordsville. The Cadets matched the visitor score but gave up a late safety as the clincher. Danville was never in the first half, as Brian mentioned in the pregame. The host Dragons amassed 313 yards rushing, 47-0 lead at the break. 61-0 was the final. The Bulldogs, or check that, the Warriors being shut out last week. Tri-West lost 18-17 at West Lafayette. Last night in Mid-State Conference, a Decatur Central evener scheduled at 1-1 with a 41-21 victory over host Perry Meridian. The Hawks' Tommy Stevens threw scoring passes to Chandler Barnes, had a pairing scoring runs himself as they overwhelmed the 21-13 third period deficit. 28 points in the final period for the comeback. Franklin improves to 2-0 behind Jacob Stevenson's 195 yards rushing. 49-21 was the victory final over visiting Shelbyville. The Cubs playing inspired football in memory of two potential varsity teammates who tragically drowned, saving another student. They piled on 352 yards on the ground, all 7, count them, touchdowns by rushing. Martinsville slips to 1-1 on the year in the Mid-State. 33-23 loss to Bloomington South. Mooresville picks up their first victory with a 46-0 win over the Bowman Academy. And Whiteland lost by an extra point block, 14-13 to visiting Center Grove, as Shaw Cloud accounted for both Warrior scores against the Trojans. Whiteland outgained the Trojans on offense, but had a pair of turnovers to go against them. Hendricks County action. Avon slips to 1-1 as visiting Ben Davis pounded out a 57-27 victory over the Orioles. 319 yards passing from Brandon Peters, including an 80-yard scoring pass play to Gabe Laxton's. Derek Tennant scored on a 4-yard run, and Darian Love accounted for the other two Orioles scores. Brownsburg rebounds to even their season at 1-1, 28-14 over visiting Lawrence North. The visiting Wildcats scored first, but 28 unanswered Bulldog points. A trio of scoring runs by you-know-who, Dox Akinrabadi.
Tokes Akinrabadi.
Tokes. Okay, so I've got the last name right.
You got the last
Tokes
name right.
Akinrabadi. I say that real fast 2 or 3 times. 7-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Johnson to Tyler Kurtz salted the game away for the Dogs. Cascade looks like they're going to have a very, very difficult time of it. They lost 74-7 at Monrovia, and Tri-West notched their first win at South Putnam, 59-0 whitewashing of the host Eagles. Now, of course, next week, Decatur Central, the Mid-State Conference schedule, Decatur Central hosts Whiteland. Franklin hosts Brownsburg. That ought to be good. Decatur and Whiteland ought to be good. Greenwood hosts Martinsville. Mooresville visits Plainfield. The county schedule, Avon hosts Hamilton Southeastern. I mentioned Brownsburg. Cascade will visit North Putnam. Danville will visit Crawfordsville. And Tri-West will visit South Putnam. And that's the halftime report here at Lucas Oil Stadium, Game 3 of the Lucas Oil Showcase featuring the Quakers and Danville. Doug Eaton's here along with the award-winning Brian Scott, who'll be doing the play-by-play here in just a little bit. Happy to have you on board. We've still got about 6 minutes to go until the third period kicks off.
So should we discuss my awards now, or should we wait till later?
Well, I'm afraid the commissioner has told me to wait until later.
Okay. It is halftime here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Plainfield Quakers lead the Danville Warriors by the score 17-14 in a game that we could look at two ways if you're a Quakers fan. One, you've got the lead. You've scored a touchdown defensively. You've had a couple of nice drives that have ended in points. On the other hand, you could probably take a look at the scoreboard and say, we could probably easily be up by a score of something more along the lines of 28 or 31 to 14. Danville, they have moved the ball fairly well, but also we've seen the Quaker defense come up and make a few plays. As we take a look at the recap of the first half of play, it was the Warriors that had the ball to begin this game, but Dayton Clements came up with a fumble recovery. He ran it 48 yards the other way into the end zone. point after was good, and quickly the Quakers were on the board first, 7-0. After holding the Danville Warriors to a 3-and-out, Colin Nicewinder found Devin Spaulding on a very, very nice play. That play covered 28 yards. Morgan Higgie's point after gave the Quakers an early 17-0 lead. You'd have to go into early second quarter action before the Quakers would put their 17th points on the board when Morgan Hagee knocked through a 22-yard field goal. And if you're Brian Woodard and you're Quaker fans, you had to be feeling pretty confident. You're up 17-0 early in the second quarter. But the Warriors, they wouldn't go away, and eventually Jonathan Curtis would rumble in from 8 yards out to put Danville's first points of the season on the scoreboard. The two-point conversion, while unorthodox, worked as Trevor Schubert ran it in after a pass from Christian Schabel, and it was a 17-8 lead for the Plainfield Quakers. Things look to be going the Quakers' way, though, on the ensuing kickoff. John Finch ran it all the way back to the Danville 29-yard line where the Quakers were set up with some excellent field position, but Colin Nicewinder on an end run, looking for some room around the left side, trying to get some extra yards. He fumbled the football. It was recovered by Danville, tack on a 15-yard personal foul penalty, and the Warriors were in business, and they would eventually, thanks to another Quaker penalty late in the drive that extended it for the Warriors, ended with Nick Hamilton on the receiving end of a 25-yard Christian Schabel touchdown pass. This time, the two-point conversion, while Plainfield had seen it once, they decided to blow it up the second time. The point after the conversion was no good, but that is where we stand at halftime with a score 17-14 in favor of Plainfield. So, Doug, we take a look. I'm sure, as you said, Coach Woodard in here at the half, he's got to be taking his defense a little bit to task. This is a Warrior team that while they throw a lot of different looks at you, it's pretty much being shown that if you can give Schabel a little bit of time, he throws a nice ball and he finds open receivers.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that hopefully they'll find something to adjust to. We'll see as the second half pans out, but I agree with you that the defense again, started out well, and I'm not sure if that early turnover and return, which was executed pretty well, because sometimes those balls get lost and off into the sideline, but that execution kind of buoyed them a little bit. They were kind of a bend, but not a breaking type of defense, and I think that. When worse came to worse, Danville executed when they had to, and I think, as you mentioned before, I think that Coach Woodard probably has more than a few things to say to not just the players but also to his staff.
In Danville, if you're Coach Russ Sumner, you're probably just saying, let's keep going, just keep at it. They've done a good job of moving the ball at times. They've had a couple of turnovers. They've had some drives that finally end up stalling out. But for the most part, Ben Jones and Jacob Sherrill have been able to get some yards on the ground. If they continue to get some good protection by the Danville offensive line, Christian Schabel is pretty much showing that give me the protection, I can get the ball down the field. For Plainfield, offensively, Colin Nicewinder, he's had some nice drives, but right now it is the fumble deep in Warrior territory that's really got to be it's got to be in the back of his mind. Plainfield could easily see themselves up 20 by the score of 24-8. Instead, the turnover turns into 6 points for the Danville Warriors, and that's our score at the half, 17-14. We're going to pay a few bills here, and then when we come back, we'll have second half kickoff. This is Quaker Football on ASO.
Yeah, the Beacon Sign Company, one of our sponsors, they specialize in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting Red Pride football. They are located 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388 for all your signage needs or stop by Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible. Also, Impact Insurance Restoration. They are Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration. They're located at 2340 East Perry Road in beautiful Plainfield. Monty Collins and our friends at Impact Restoration are the people to call if you need repairs, because service is everything and relationships matter. You can call 268-6375 for more information. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and connection needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. And the 3 Pints Brew Pub is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. That's 829-1000. The hours for 3 Pints on Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 as well. And we also want to thank our other fine sponsors as well for making tonight's broadcast possible. They include Jimmy John's, the Hardware Store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies. And now, for all the second half play-by-play, here's Brian Scott.
Thank you, Doug. We are about ready for second half action with the Plainfield Quakers leading the Danville Warriors by the score of 17-14. We are so glad that you could join us this afternoon into early evening for Plainfield Quaker football. Also want to thank our fans that might be tuning in from Danville. Hope you're enjoying this afternoon's broadcast as the Quakers again with a 3-point lead. Plainfield Quaker fans, our next broadcast of Plainfield Quaker football will be this coming Friday as the Quakers will be back at Red Pride Field when they take on Mooresville as the Pioneers come into town. Kickoff for that game set for 7 o'clock. Danville will kick off as the Quakers won the opening toss. They elected to defer, and now they will have the football to begin the second half as once again Brandon Siller on to kick this ball away for the Warriors, while Dawson Anderson and John Finch are back deep. Plainfield's gotten some nice returns on these kicks. There's a short pooch kick that's just going to go out of bounds. Not quite what the Warriors, I'm sure, wanted, but after some of the returns by John Finch, might be the better discretion, might be the better part of valor, and elect just to take the ball right there rather than risk another long return. So 1st and 10 as Colin Nicewander brings the offense back onto the field as this drive will start at the 40-yard line to begin second half action. And again, the Quakers up 17-14. High backfield behind Nicewander. He will give it to Finch. He will find some room over the left side and then be brought down. Ben Jones on the tackle for Danville, but not before Finch picks up about 4 yards up to the Quaker 44-yard line.
It was a nice play by Ben Jones coming over from his weak side position and to take John down. Nice play.
Wide receivers come 2 to the near side. The I backfield behind Colin on this 2nd and 6. The pitch comes to Finch. He looks for some room around the left side, and he's going to get a few yards before he is brought down from behind by Austin Scammerhorn. Picked up about 5, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 49-yard line. Needs to get to the midfield stripe for a Quaker first down.
Well, so far they've been running a little bit better than they did in the first half on these first two these first two calls. So maybe they found something at the break.
Quakers are going to go jumbo on this, it looks like, as they bring everybody up to the line of scrimmage. On a jumbo set, they'll bring one man in motion. And the give is to the right side, and the ball's loose on the field, and it's going to be picked up by Danville. Coming in with the fumble recovery is Max Dragonette as Finch lost the ball as it was stripped out of his hands. It was poked away by Ben Jones. Jones came in, popped it out of Finch's hands, and Dragonette able to pick up the loose ball, and the Warriors have the ball in Quaker territory at the Plainfield 43-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, it's a big series for Plainfield defensively.
So another turnover as Shable play-action pass is complete, and taking it down to about the 30-yard line was Logan Knotts, a 6-foot, 155-pound junior. And they'll have enough for the first down as he picks up 13 yards on the play down to the Quaker 30-yard line. Shable will look over to the Warrior sideline and get the play as he will be flanked left and right in the backfield. The handoff will go, and being knocked down on the play was Peyton Perry, and he basically just ran into a defender and knocked himself off stride, and he'll get maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Shable keeps it, looks for some room around the left side, and coming in and make a fantastic play is Dayton Clements, a strong safety. Made a fine open field tackle to limit Shable to a gain of maybe 1.5 yards down to just shy of the Quaker 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long.
And that's one of the things Shable was able to do in the first half, was make them miss on those particular slant-type plays.
Dayton Clements, who had the fumble recovery for a touchdown to start the scoring for the Quakers, makes a nice tackle. Man in motion, back to pass is Shable. Looks for some room, gets some pressure, eludes a tackle, fires it downfield, and it's well out of bounds. He was looking to Peyton Perry, but he was being pressured by, it looked like, Bryce Biddle as well as Dayton Clements. He had to get rid of that football, and it'll bring up 4th down for Danville. 9:17 in quarter number 3 here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Warriors don't even think twice about it. The offense will stay out on the field for this 4th and 9 from the Quaker 29-yard line. Christian Shable drops back to pass, looks, fires downfield, and he's going to have it tripped up, and no penalty is called. He was looking down the seam. His intended receiver was Danville's Connor McGovern.
Well, that was a good no call, Brian, because I think the receiver, both of them were going for the ball. They were both watching the ball, and I think they simply collided.
So McGovern tripped up, no call on the play, and the Quakers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line as they fumbled on their opening drive here in the second half. But the turnover does not come back to bite them, and they'll have it 1st and 10. Here's a give to Tristan Southwood, the fullback, as he goes straight up the middle and picks up a good 5 yards on the first play of this drive. They'll give him credit for 4 yards up to the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 6 for Plainfield. Clock moving. 8:50 in the third quarter. Quakers with a 3-point lead, 17-14. Tight end left, 2 wideouts to the near side. I backfield behind Colin Nicewander. Here is the pitch. Coming to the near side is John Finch, and he is going to be taken down after a gain of about 5 to the 39-yard line. He's going to be shy of the first down by about 1 yard. Nice tackle there is coming in to make the play was Sam Steers, the defensive end for the Warriors. 3rd down and 1 for Plainfield.
Well, they found something on that left side that they apparently like. They've been successful, except, of course, for that one fumble that they lost earlier on their first possession of this second half.
Well, they go back to the jumbo. This is where they fumbled on their last drive. This time, Nicewander keeps it, and he has a man open as dragging out and making the catch over on the far side was the big fella, Devin Spalding. He hauled in the touchdown pass in the first half, and he comes up with a big 3rd down conversion here for the Quakers. We've got an injured Warrior on the field at about the 45-yard line. So while we have a moment, Let's take a timeout. 7:51 left to go, third quarter. Quakers lead the Warriors 17-14. This is Quaker football on ASO.
And we are sponsored by the Three Pints Brew Club. It's an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere. Would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about menu and drink selections, you can give them a buzz. 829-1000. That's 829-1000. And the brew pub's hours, Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30. That's the Three Pints Brew Club, Brew Pub, Plainfield.
Bryce King is the shaken Warrior as he comes off to the Warriors sideline.
Looks like he's holding his right arm.
He's either holding his right arm or he might have a minor groin pull. Let's not speculate, but he's evidently feeling a little bit of discomfort. And for a team that, again, is very, very thin, they only dress 38 players for this contest. That's a big loss. As their starting safety leaves, Logan Knotts will take over for him in the defensive secondary. 1st and 10 for Plainfield. Collin back to pass. Looking down now, flushes to the right side. Penalty flag on the play. Pass is complete over to the far sideline to Zach Archer, but we have a penalty flag back at around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the area of holding.
Yep. Well, that is another issue that I think Coach Brian Woodard is going to be, whether they win this game, lose, or draw, which we don't have those anymore, so that's kind of a silly statement. But penalties, again, starting to be a bit of a factor for the Quakers. Nice pass completion to Archer, nullified by the holding penalty. And it's going to push Plainfield back to their own 31-yard line where it will be 1st down and 19. Clock shows 7:40 left in the third quarter. 17-14 is our score. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. 2 wide receivers to the right as they bring a man in motion. As Collin on a screen passes it out, and it is blown up. As coming in to make the play was Dylan Boyd. He hit Zach Archer before Archer could take one step upfield. They tried to set up a little screen out to the near side. Coming in and making a nice block was Coy Anderson, but Boyd was also there, and he blew that up for no gain. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 19 now for the Quakers. Back to the I backfield. And the give is to the fullback, Tristan Southwood. Tristan picks up a few yards beyond the 34, shy of the 35-yard line, but now it is 2nd down. And I said 19, it was actually 24 yards. It's now 3rd down and 20 was the yardage before that play. So 3rd down and 20. And we'll see what the Quakers elect to do on this 3rd and very long. 3 wide outs in the pattern, 2 to the near side. And they will hand the ball off. This is John Finch. He's going to get a few yards, but that's all as the Quakers conservatively keep it on the ground. Dylan Boyd with the tackle. It's a pickup of just a few, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 17, and Morgan Hagee is on to punt for the Red Pride.
Yeah, there aren't too many running plays that will spring for 20 yards.
Dylan Boyd, Trevor Schubert back deep for the Warriors. They'll stand back at around their own 30-yard line as Morgan will stand back near his own 23. He takes it on a couple of bounces but gets this ball away, and it will take a Quaker bounce and continue rolling before it will finally be down to the 19-yard line. 5:40 left to go in quarter number 3. Quakers lead 17-14. Back in a moment. This is Quaker football on ASO.
For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, give them a call, 839-8353.
Warriors have it 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. Christian Schabel back out for the offense. Here's a give to Ben Jones right up the middle, and he's going to be stacked up there by a whole host of Plainfield Quakers. As leading the charge was Roger Roy, a 6'1", 315-pound defensive lineman for Plainfield. Jones will pick up a couple of hard-earned yards up to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8. Warriors had the ball with excellent field position for their first drive of the second half, but eventually they turned it over on downs. Schabel with the give as Sherrill, the ball carrier, and Ben Jones is the ball carrier. Bryce Biddle, Coy Anderson, and a few more Red Pride defensive linemen in there for the stop. No gain, maybe a loss of even a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
We'll see if the Warriors can spring Schabel here.
Double wing, Schabel drops back, steps up, now runs for his life. Coming to the near side, fires downfield, looking, and incomplete. 2 receivers in the area as Tanner Hubbard and Peyton Perry both in the vicinity. And actually, Schabel's pass kind of fell right in between the two of them. And it was incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Ben Jones looks like he is out there to punt this ball away for the Warriors. So this time a very good 3 and out as the Quaker defense toughens up here on this drive. John Finch back deep for the Quakers as it's a low line drive as all of Jones's kicks have been. It's going to take a bit of a Warrior roll, but the Quakers are still going to find themselves in excellent field position to start this drive on the 50-yard line with 4:14 left to go in the third quarter.
And the Beacon Sign Company, one of our other fine sponsors, specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting Red Pride football. They're located 9305 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon, 272-2388 for all your signage needs, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6.
Quakers start this possession at midfield. Backs out of the eye. Play action pass. Nice wonder looking for a receiver. Well defended down the field by the Danville Warriors. You could tell that right out of the gate, Nice Wonder was looking for maybe a quick header down the seam, but the Warriors in the secondary did a good job of covering up the Quaker defenders, and he's forced to throw it away. It'll be 2nd and 10. 17-14 is our score. That was the score at the half. Neither offense able to get much moving here so far in this second half. As Nice Wonder will have backs in the eye. It's Southwood and Finch. Now Finch will go in motion to the near side. The give is to Southwood on a read option. Southwood keeps it and takes it down to the Danville 48-yard line. It's just to pick up 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Nice play by the Warriors front 3 to fend off the blocks and take him down pretty quickly because they were well blocked at first. They played very, very well.
3rd down and 8 for Plainfield. Clock on the move. 3:35 remains in this third quarter of play. 17-14. Quakers have the lead. Finch to the right of Nice Wonder working out of the gun. 3 down front for the Warriors. Here's the play action pass. Nice Wonder to his right, rolls out. Pass is complete but short of the sticks for the first down. As hauling it in is Clayton White, a 5'7", 140-pound junior wide receiver. But he's a couple of yards shy of the first down mark. It'll bring up 4th and 2.
Yeah, you know, the usual is, why did you run a 6-yard pattern when you need 8 yards?
He was well defended over there by Dylan Boyd, but the Quakers still need 2 yards to go as the play comes in late from the sideline as Bryce Biddle will come in, and he will move in motion to the near side. 4th and 2. The give is up the middle, and Finch has it, and if the official spot is any indication, the Quakers did not get it. They are going to be shy by about a half a foot or so. They needed to get to the 40. The nose of the football is shy of the 40, and the Warrior defense holds as they stop the Quakers on 4th and 2.
Well, once more, the offense given opportunities, given field position, and just coming up short.
So Danville takes over on downs from their own 40-yard line with 2:55 remaining in quarter number 3. They trail the Quakers 17-14. Danville has not led in this game. They have picked up their first points of the season, however. And now they are looking to see if maybe they can tie this game or go ahead. Schabel will give the ball to Sherrill. Sherrill will plow with a few Quakers hanging on to him up to past the 45 and shy of the 46 for a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Jacob Sherrill and Ben Jones, the workhorse tandem, running the football this afternoon. And it is Sherrill to the left of Schabel. And he will get the football. He will come to the near side, and he will be brought down from behind by Coy Anderson. And Sherrill will lose a helmet in the process, and he'll have to sit for a play.
One more time. Got to be setting a record for losing his helmet. I think that's the third time he's lost it.
Well, I'm sure the equipment manager is being told by the coaches, you tighten that thing up just a little bit tighter. It's 3rd down and 2 for the Warriors. Schabel will give the ball to Jones. Jones looks for some room, and he did not get any. Good job by the the Quaker defense. Dayton Clements, among others, in there to stop Ben Jones. Maybe give him a half a yard, but it'll be 4th and a yard, and the Warriors remain out on the field. 4th down. Here's Jones. He'll plow, and this is going to be close. He tried to submarine underneath, and if the spot is any indication, the Warriors are going to be stymied by the Quaker defense.
Yeah, if this official is accurate.
And I'm sure Coach Brian Woodard is going to want the sticks. The official initially asked for or called 1st down, but there was no way that could be a 1st down where that ball is spotted.
Right.
And Coach Brian Woodard's going to get his wish. They are now going to bring the sticks over from the far sideline. From here, he is a good maybe half a football shy, but we're also about 6 miles away from the field in the Indianapolis Colts home radio booth. So looking at the monitor, he looks to be short, and he is short by a half a football. So the glasses prescription does not need to be changed anytime soon.
Well,
and the Quakers will force a turnover on downs for the 2nd consecutive possession by the Warriors. And Plainfield will take over with the ball touching the midfield stripe, leading 17-14 with 1:44 left to go in the 3rd quarter. So Colin Nicewinder back out onto the field, backs in the eye. Finch will move in motion, that is not Finch, as the ball is swung out to the far side. That's Coy Anderson, who moved from a tailback, and he moved into motion to line up as a wide receiver on the far side. He takes a swing pass, but he can only pick up about a yard. As coming in and making the play was Ben Jones for the Warriors. It's a pickup of only a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Clock moving, 1:15 left to go, 3rd quarter. High backfield for Plainfield. Nicewinder hands the ball off. Coming to the near side is Coy Anderson, who's now getting a few reps in at tailback. It's 5'7", 170-pound junior. Picks up a few yards down to the 44-yard line, and the Quakers once again have a 3rd down conversion staring him in the face, this time 3rd and 4.
I'm really kind of surprised that Tristan Southwood hasn't been back in. He was very, very impressive, I thought. 220 pounds.
It is Anderson at fullback and Finch at tailback. Play action pass. Nicewinder around the right side. Looks for some room. Now he'll keep it, and he is going to be stacked and stopped in his tracks as Max Dragonette once again comes up and makes a big hit on Nicewander to stymie him well short of the first down. The ball's going to be spotted at the Warrior 44-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 4.
One more 3 and out. And, how much longer can the defense take this kind of stuff?
Morgan Hagee on to punt. Boyd and Schubert back deep for Danville. And we have a whistle stopping play because that means we have zeros on the clock in the end of the third quarter. We will head to quarter number 4 here at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Plainfield Quakers lead the Danville Warriors by the score of 17-14. Back with fourth quarter action right after this. This is Quaker football on ASO.
And we would also like to thank our other fine sponsors who have made tonight's broadcast possible, including Jimmy John's, The Hardware Store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies. Also, the Three Pints Brew Club is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. It features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. For more information about the menu and drink selections, you can call 829-1000. The hours for the Three Pints Brew Pub, Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30.
Fourth quarter action about ready to get underway here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Thank you for joining us for Red Pride Football on Audio Sports Online. Plainfield, since a Morgan Hagee field goal early in the second quarter, has been stymied. But they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4. They originally sent Morgan on to punt. Now they send the offense back out onto the field, and they may be trying to see if they can get Danville to jump. Nicewander with a long count as the play clock winds down, and that is exactly what the Quakers have been trying to do, is to see if they can get Danville to jump offside, and instead they will elect to take the 5-yard delay of game penalty. So a good job as the Warriors, very well disciplined. They didn't bite on it, knowing that a false start penalty would give the Quakers an automatic first down, and now Morgan Hagee will return to the field to punt this ball away.
I guess Nicewander needs to work on his inflection more. Got to get that Peyton Manning rhythm down, where you're drawing people off sides like he used to.
Boyd and Schubert back deep. They'll stand back at around their own 13-yard line. Hagee low snap gets this one away. This is a nice kick. Going back and fair catching at the 6-yard line is Trevor Schubert. Or excuse me, that was not Trevor Schubert. Getting that football was Logan Knotts. And cardinal sin right there, calling for the fair catch and fielding it at your own 6-yard line. Once that ball gets past the 10, you're told to just let it go. Take your chances. He fielded it, and now the Warriors are back deep in their own territory at their own 6-yard line. 11:55 remains to go in this football game, and it's a close one still, 17-14 in favor of the Quakers. But they have held Danville. They've made Danville turn the ball over on downs on their last 2 possessions. This time, Danville goes to a full-out 3 wides near side. Here come the Quakers, but the give is up the middle. Here is Sherrell. Sherrell bounds up the middle, and he'll gain some nice yardage before Dayton Clements brings him down. It's a gain of almost 8 yards for Jacob Sherrell.
Again, nice run by Danville, kind of sealing off that lane inside.
They'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line of Danville, so call it 2nd down and 3, as Peyton Perry will now go to the far side of the field and send Nick Gilliam out there as well. The give is Sherrell. He fumbles the football, and let's see. Quakers say they got it, and so do the men in stripes. Bryce Biddle looks like he came away with the fumble recovery as Jacob Sherrell puts it on the ground at the worst possible. Actually, taking a look at the replay, Christian Schabel never got that football. He didn't look it into his hands. He was trying to hand that ball off to the running back, Jacob Sherrell, and just as we say in wide receiver parlance all the time, didn't look it in, and he ends up coughing it up, and the Quakers have it at the 11-yard line. Nice wander, gives it to Finch. Finch looking for some room, not finding a whole lot there as the running game has kind of ground to a halt. Woody Harp, the middle linebacker for the Warriors, 6'1", 222-pound senior, in there to make the stop for no gain.
Yeah, they haven't had much success running that sort of play.
This time, the Quakers will send 3 wideouts to the far side of the field with Finch to the left of nice wander out of the gun. Collin gives it to Finch. Finch with some room around the right side. This time he picks up a little bit of a chunk of yards before Hart tackles him again, but this time John will pick up about 6 down to the Danville 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4. The Quakers can get a first down without getting a touchdown, but they pretty much have to take it inside the 1-yard line. Clock moves, 10:18 left to go in this fourth quarter, and the Quakers have a 3-point lead at 17-14. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Clayton White will go as a wide receiver to the far side of the field. Tight end, double tight ends, or his tight end is right, excuse me. Anderson in motion. They'll give the ball to Tristan Southwood, and Tristan will get only a yard or 2 before he is bottled up once again. Woody Harp making some big plays, and 4th down, Morgan Hagee is on to try a field goal.
Well,
so the Quakers have it 1st and 10 from the Danville 11. They can get only 7 yards out of it, and Hagee is on for a 21-yard field goal attempt. He's hit from 22 yards. And this ball is on what is the right pro hash. Good snap, good hold. Hagee's kick is up, and the kick is good. 9:25 left to go in the fourth quarter. It is Plainfield 20, Danville 14. Back with a kickoff after this. This is Quaker football on ASO.
Impact Insurance Restoration is Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration, located at 2340 East Perry Road in beautiful Plainfield. Monty Collins and our friends at Impact Restoration are the people to call if you need repairs, because service is everything. Relationships matter. You can call 268-6375 for more information.
Morgan Hagee kicks a 21-yard field goal, but Quakers have to be disappointed after having 1st and 10 after the fumble recovery by Bryce Biddle on the Warrior 11-yard line. They can't get any more than about 7 yards out of it, and they're forced to settle for the 22-yard Hagee field goal. But they extend their lead now to force Danville to score a touchdown. It's 20-14 in favor of the Quakers with 9:25 left to go in the fourth quarter. Hagee set to kick this one away, as it is Dylan Boyd and Trevor Schubert back deep for Danville. Morgan with a right foot, kicks it deep, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback as Schubert takes it about a yard deep. So Danville has to be thinking they dodged a bullet, because it keeps it a one-possession game. A touchdown there by the Plainfield Quakers. This becomes a two-possession game, but now it still remains a one-possession game. They have 9:25 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think that they have to feel good about their effort, especially tonight after a 17-0 lead and holding Plainfield, like you said, to only 17 points and holding them to this field goal here. So they've got, again, plenty of time. There's no reason to panic.
Christian Schabel takes it, pitches it out, coming near side. This is Ben Jones. Jones looks for some room, and he will be ridden out of bounds, tackled by Yager Barnett. Looks like the Danville coaching staff might have been looking for a horse collar, but no penalty called. It'll be second down in about 7 as Jones is able to take it up to the 27-yard line. Nick Hamilton is the wide receiver to the far side. Here's a give to Jones. Looks for some room on the right side. He's going to be stopped, popped, and dropped as Dayton Clements was there and Hunter Lyford with the first hit. And no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. So big spot here for the Quaker defense. See if they can get the Warriors off the field. As Schabel gives up the middle. Here's Jones. Nothing doing. Good job of penetration by the Quaker defensive line. And coming up is Nick Rowan, a 5'11", 305-pound junior defensive lineman, to make the hit. It's a gain of maybe a half yard. It'll be 4th and 2. And no hesitation by Danville head coach Russ Sumner. Now they've changed their mind, and they're going to send the punting unit out.
Well, they figure they're going to play field position. They've been able to stop Plainfield, really stymie them. Plainfield's become, I think, predictable, and so it's easy to prepare for that to a degree. And I think this is in Danville's thinking.
Ben Jones, who the punts haven't been pretty. They've pretty much been line drives. And this one is an end-over-end kick that is going to go and take a bit of a Warrior bounce and be spotted at the Quaker 41-yard line with 7:57 left to go here in this fourth quarter. The Quakers lead the Warriors 20-14 and have the ball at their own 41-yard line. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Plainfield looking for some type of offense here. They pretty much have been stymied this entire half. They get the 21-yard Hagee field goal after recovering a fumble deep in Warrior territory, but really can't move the ball after that.
No.
Now they have it 1st and 10 at their own 41. Here is the give to Finch. Finch finds a hole and manages to get about 4 yards before Dylan Boyd comes over to make the tackle. And we have the timeout as a Quaker lost a helmet this time, and he's going to have to go off the field. You would think after this rule being in place for about 3 seasons now, they would learn to tighten them up a little bit. But we have seen numerous helmets fly in this contest, and the Quakers head up to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd and 5 from their own 46-yard line. I backfield, that is Southwood and Finch. This is Finch right up the middle. He's not going to get but a yard or two before Woody Hart, the Mike linebacker, is able to bring him down. It's a gain of only a yard up to the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for Plainfield.
Yeah, I think this is crucial for the offense. I'm sure that Coach Woodard said you need to at least get us some first downs, if nothing else.
3rd down and 3 yards, 4 yards to go, let's call it. 3. As the ball spotted at the 48-yard line. I backfield is Nice Wander bends under center. Here's the pitch coming around the near side. This is Anderson. He's going to get maybe to the midfield stripe, and he's going to be a yard shy. Coming in to make the tackle was Jonathan Curtis, the cornerback, and Coy Anderson is going to be shy of the first down. Actually, going to mark it back a bit. It's going to be just beyond the 49-yard line, so it's a 4th down and a very long yard. Morgan Hagee's on to punt.
One more 3 and out.
So the offense has been stymied here in the second half. Credit a Danville defensive line that's done a good job of penetrating, and the linebackers coming in to clean things up. Plainfield runs a player on late in punt formation. Back deep, Boyd and Schubert for the Warriors. Hagee stands at his own 36. Low snap, but he gets it away. Nice kick. And he'll chase Boyd back to take a fair catch at his 12-yard line. 5:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. Quakers lead 20-14. This is Quaker football on ASO.
And we're also sponsored by the 3 Pints Brew Pub. It is an excellent place for great food. They offer craft drink selections brewed on site. Features a family-friendly atmosphere and would make a great destination for your next dining experience. They're located at 5020 Cambridge Way in Plainfield. More information about menu and drink selections, you can give them a call, 829-1000, 829-1000. Their hours, Sunday and Monday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 a.m.
Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. 5 minutes, 58 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. The Quakers have a 6-point lead. It is the Warriors with a football. Here's Jacob Sherrill looking for some room around the right side. Ball is loose, and the Quakers come up with it again.
Wow.
The 4th turnover by Danville, the second actual possession in a row.
Yeah.
Sherrill looks around the right side, and it was Bryce Biddle that got a hand in there and stripped it away for the Quakers. So the defense doing all they can to give the offense great field position. And right now, this time the Quakers would definitely settle for a field goal. It would make it a two-possession game. Backs out of the eye. Here's the give. Here is rumbling up the middle is John Finch, and he's going to pick up about 4, almost 5 yards down to the Warrior. They'll spot the ball at the 7-yard line.
And another Quaker loses his helmet, throwing a block.
Now that Warrior defense has to be getting a little winded, even though they've been able to get the Quakers off the field in short order. They keep having to turn right back around and head back out there. We'll see what the Quakers can do here on 2nd down and about 7. Backs out of the eye, Southwood and Finch. Biddle in motion to the near side. Nice wander, back to pass. Pressure's coming from the backside. He throws into the end zone. Incomplete. Looking into the end zone, I believe he was searching for, on that near side, Seth Knuckles, with one of the great football names of all time. But Seth couldn't bring this one down. Good defense by.
Oh, yeah, what a great play.
Fantastic play coming over and making the play for Danville was Dylan Boyd from his linebacker. He knocked that ball away. Otherwise, Knuckles had the touchdown. 3rd down and 7. Here's a give right up the middle. John Finch. He's going to maybe take it down to the 5, but that's going to bring up 4th down, as it's only a gain of a couple. And Morgan Hagee is on for the field goal attempt.
Well.
So once again, Danville, excellent job defense. But right now, this field goal is huge. It would make it a two-possession game. It's a 22-yard attempt. Hagee has hit both field goals that he has attempted today, a 22-yarder and a 21-yarder. And this kick is up, and this kick is good. A 22-yard field goal from Morgan Hagee. And now it is a two-possession game as the Quakers lead 23-14. Back with a kick in a moment. This is Quaker Football on ASO.
Impact Insurance Restoration, one of our sponsors. They're Plainfield's only hometown fire, water, wind, and hail restoration. Located at 2340 East Perry Road in beautiful Plainfield, Monty Collins and our friends at Impact Restoration are the people to call if you need repairs, because service is everything and relationships matter. You can give them a call for more information at 268-6375. We'd also like to thank Niagara Bottling Company for making tonight's broadcast possible as well.
Alongside Mr. Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. 4 minutes, 43 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. Morgan Hagee with his 3rd field goal of the evening, a 22-yarder, has made this a two-possession game as the Quakers lead the Warriors 23-14. If the Quakers can get out of this game with a victory, they'll take it, but they won't be happy about it. I'm sure Coach Brian Woodard will not be. They have had two chances tonight with the ball deep in Warrior territory inside the 15 and can only come away with field goals. Hagee's kick will be fielded at the 3. Coming up is Schubert. Schubert, here's a penalty flag as he looks for some room, and he's finally going to be dragged down. Tackle made by Plainfield's Yager Barnett, but a penalty flag also on the play.
Yeah, it looks like they've picked it up. Oh, I see it now at the 23.
This was well upfield, but it is going to be holding. Well, preliminarily holding. Let's see.
Looks like a major holding.
Yeah, it's going to be holding against Danville. So once again, the Warriors are going to be pinned back deep with 4:37 remaining in this football game, and they trail by 9, 23-14. When they're done, they'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line as Schabel and the offense head back out onto the field. Ben Jones to Schabel's left. Play action pass. Schabel rolls out to the right. Pressure's coming from the backside. Throws downfield. Pass is caught at the 28 and dropped.
Wow.
Trevor Schubert had a lot of green field in front of him, and not a Quaker in sight, and he dropped the ball as he tried to turn upfield.
Well, the Quakers had number 43 in pursuit of Danville's Schabel, the quarterback, and just led him a little bit, just a little too much.
Brad Wicker, the Quaker linebacker, in pursuit of Schabel, but it's an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 for Danville, again at their 13-yard line. 4:29 remains in fourth quarter. Jones to the right of Schabel. He will fake the handoff, throw the pass out on a quick hitter. And taking it up past the 22 and close to a first down is Nick Hamilton for the Warriors. Needed 10, and he's probably got 11.
Yeah.
And there's a penalty flag back at the 15, however, so that's why they're not moving the chains. And Danville hit with a huge holding penalty. After getting the first down.
It takes away the first down.
It takes away the first down, and they're going to be pinned back even further. Danville played the first half of this game and into the second half relatively penalty-free. The penalties are starting to mount here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Ball will be pushed back to around the Warriors' 7-yard line, where it'll be second down and about 15 yards to go. Jones to the right of Schabel. Schabel back to pass, fires out, over to the near side, pass behind the receiver, but Peyton Perry once again with an outstanding catch. Won't get a lot of yards out of it, but he's become a favorite target for Christian Schabel, and he makes a nice adjustment on that football and makes the catch, but it's going to be 3rd down and 11 for Danville. Ball spotted at the Warrior 12-yard line. Schabel is going to check with his wide receiver, Jonathan Curtis, who lines up in the slot. Schabel, play action once again. Here come the Quakers. He eludes one defender, tries to run, will not lose another, and it is Bryce Biddle. And Schabel may be hurt. He fell awkwardly. Matter of fact, a penalty flag is down.
I saw that too.
Schabel fell awkwardly. Pressure came. He eluded it. Biddle comes from the backside, and they're going to get Biddle for a horse collar.
That's all they need.
And that rule is in place for just what we saw here just a second ago. Not a whole lot of doubt. Biddle did reach up, grabbed Schabel from the back at the horse collar. Schabel went down awkwardly. He's still kind of limping back there on that right leg.
It looked to me like he might have rolled up on him.
But Schabel not even looking at the sideline of Coach Russ Sumner is trying to get him out of there, which, again, as thin as the Warriors are, the backup quarterback is the tailback, Ben Jones. So Schabel is out there. Instead of 4th down, it'll be 1st down after the penalty. They'll mark the ball and spot it at the Danville 27-yard line. Again, not a whole lot of discussion about it. It was a horse collar tackle by Bryce Biddle, and the Warriors have a 1st and 10. Clock moves, 3:32 left to go, fourth quarter. Quakers show blitz. They hand the ball off. Here is Jones with a nice bit of running. He'll take it up to about the 30-yard line. It's a gain of only 3, but he did it almost all on his own. And it'll bring up 2nd and 7. Clock continues to move, 3:13. Both teams with full complements of timeouts. Warriors trail by 9, 23-14. They'll line up with 3 wide receivers to the far side of the formation. As the give is to Jones, right up the middle with a big hole, and if not for a saving tackle coming in to make the play was Tevin Tomlinson. The linebacker tripped up Ben Jones. Jones might have been gone.
Yep.
Up there, Mark Daum was in a position to make a hit, but it's a 1st and 10 at the Warrior 39-yard line. Schabel back to pass. All the time, still looking. Now pressure comes. He throws off to the right. Pass is complete. Up to the 44, to the 46, cutting near side and running to the 40, to the 40, 35, 30. And finally down at about the 36-yard line is Jonathan Curtis. Good job by Christian Schabel. He found Curtis, and Curtis took it from one side of the field all the way to the other and took it all the way down to the Quaker 26-yard line.
And this is what all those 3-and-outs do to your defense. That's where you give up those kind of ridiculous plays.
Quakers looking like they were going for the strip rather than trying to make the tackle. Here is Jones with a run around the right side, eludes one tackle, makes another man miss, and finally coming in to clean it up is Dayton Clements, but not before Ben Jones is able to pick up about 12 yards, 13 yards to play, all the way down to the Quaker 13-yard line, 1st and 10, Danville. But the clock now becoming an enemy. 2:16 remains in the fourth quarter. Warriors trail by 9. It's still a 2-possession game. Ball spotted at the Quaker 13. And now we're going to have a timeout called with 2:09 remaining in this fourth quarter. Back in a moment. This is Quaker football on ASO.
And for more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building custom homes, remodeling, and insurance repair while exceeding client expectations in delivering projects with professionalism and integrity. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their services include new home construction, remodeling services, and insurance repair. For more information, you can call Wicker Construction at 839-8353. Also, we'd like to thank Jimmy John's, The Hardware Store, Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies. And a special thanks goes out to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible.
Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. 2 minutes, 9 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. The Quakers lead 23-14, but the Warriors are driving. They could have been stopped way back and around their own 6-yard line, but a horse collar penalty against the Quakers extended the drive, and a big play to the wide receiver Hamilton on that play ended up making the difference in this one as they take it around the left side. Penalty flag. Quakers have the football. Returning the football is Yager Barnett, but a penalty flag is back at the 13-yard line on the pass interception. Let's see what the penalty is all about. And Coach Brian Woodard is already sending his defense back out onto the field. Yager Barnett with the interception. The pass was intended over to the far side. Looked like they were trying to get Logan Knott. Barnett jumped the route, but a penalty flag looks like it's going to be a pass interference penalty against the Plainfield Quakers. So nullify the turnover that would have pretty much iced this game, and it gives the Warriors new life. Again, another penalty that extends a drive for Danville.
Well, it wouldn't have done any good. Plainfield would have been 3 and out anyway.
Christian Schabel this time will set up shop at the 4-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for Danville. 3 wideouts, 2 to the near side, and now the officials want to talk it over one more time. Get some FaceTime on the good old Jumbotron here at Lucas Oil Stadium. 1:58 remains in quarter number 4. And again, the score 23-14 in favor of the Quakers as the officials, I think they are going to respot this football back. They will back to the 6-yard line. So instead of the 4, they'll take it back to the 6. It'll be 1st and goal from just beyond the 6-yard line as Schabel has Jones to his left. And it's a direct snap to Jones, but that wasn't fooling the Quakers at all. Plainfield's Roger Roy from a nose guard position came in and busted that play up. They'll give Jones maybe a half yard. Those are the football spotted at the 5-yard line. Clock continues to move, under 1:40 left. Schabel again, this time Jones to his left. And once again, a direct snap, and Bryce Biddle, who has been all over the field for the Quaker defense, was there to blow that play up. It was the second time it looks like the Warriors tried to direct snap to Jones, and the Warriors snuffed it out, and the loss is back to the Quaker 11-yard line where it is now 3rd and goal. Clock moves, 1:10. Schabel, fade route, looking in the corner, in the end zone. and incomplete. In and out of the hands of Dylan Boyd. In there was Jogger Barnett with a great defensive play.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Jogger on that. He had the inside shoulder, and like you said, it was a fade route, but he was able to punch it away just at the last minute.
So 4th and goal from the 11. Warriors will have to go for it with 1:05. They could think of a field goal. I'm not sure they've got anybody that can kick a field goal. Their place kicker is Brandon Siller. They need 2 scores, so we'll go for the touchdown now. Schabel back to pass. Looks, fires over the middle, man in the end zone, incomplete.
No flags anywhere.
Great defensive play by Dayton Clements as Trevor Schubert and Clements one-on-one in the end zone, and it's Clements that comes away with the Quaker stop.
Wow.
Simply one-on-one,
yep.
And Clements timed that ball perfectly.
He sure
got
did.
a hand in there, and the Warriors are turned away with 58 seconds remaining. And Danville will probably be seeing a few of these plays in their sleep tonight as the Quakers look like they are going to head back to Red Pride Field next week off of a win. Here is the give to Finch. He will plow up a few yards, and Coach Russ Sumner will take the first of his 3 timeouts. So they could get the Quakers. If the Quakers can get 1 first down, they can end this game because the Warriors are going to have 2 more timeouts. And the clock will stop with 52 seconds. Meanwhile, for Plainfield, they are hoping to get out of here with the victory and head back to Red Pride Field, where they're going to take on a pretty tough Pioneer team next week.
Yeah. Mooresville played very, very well against Lebanon. The jury probably is still out on Lebanon, but lost 7-0, and then took on Bowman Academy and shellacked them pretty good. But I think it was the first time that they've met. But Mooresville's had a tough run of it. 2 straight years, 1-8 during the regular season. So I'm sure that they've turned the corner to some degree, and they're gonna they probably have some dues to collect.
It will be 2nd down and 8 for the Quakers after the timeout. The I backfield is once again see Southwood and Finch as Collin will bend under center. Give is to Finch. He finds a hole up past the 20 and up to about the 25-yard line. It's a first down. The clock will stop as they spot the ball, but it's 1st and 10 as
there's a penalty marker.
There is a penalty marker back at the 19-yard line, and it's holding against the Quakers.
Of course.
There will be a lot to digest after this one.
Really will be.
For Coach Brian Woodard, the win, it'll be nice to have the win in your pocket, but there is going to be a lot of discussion this upcoming week with the inability of the offense at times to extend drives and now penalties, which has been a bit of a bugaboo for the Quakers the past few years.
Yeah.
And this one hurts. It is extended drives for Danville, and it's hurt the Quakers here. They'll move the ball back to the 10 where it'll be 2nd and 11. Collin, handoff to Anderson. Anderson is going to be stacked up after a gain of maybe a yard, and Coach Russ Sumner will use his 2nd timeout with 40 seconds remaining. And now a penalty flag comes in flying after the play as Coy Anderson came out from under that pile. Not a very happy person, and he's shaking a hand. Maybe he got stepped on. But a flag is at the 12-yard line. As they're going to discuss this, it is a timeout on the field. We'll take a quick timeout. 40 seconds left. Back in a moment. This is Quaker Football on ASL.
The Beacon Sign Company specializes in local high school sports and event signage needs. This is their 12th year of supporting Red Pride football. They are located at 9305 East US Highway 36 in Avon. You can call 272-2388, 272-2388 for all your signage needs, or stop by Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Also, special thanks to the Niagara Bottling Company for helping make tonight's broadcast possible.
Offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct fouls will mean very little in the grand scheme of things. It will mean it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Plainfield after the timeout. 40 seconds remain on the clock. Quakers with a 9-point lead, 23-14. Alongside Doug Edens, I'm Brian Scott. Glad you could join us tonight for Plainfield Quaker football on Audio Sports Online. Reminder, you can get a free archive of this game. See the replay tomorrow. It should be up sometime tomorrow. Check on YouTube. Just search for Audio Sports Online. You should be able to find the game. Or check by, I would say, Monday at the latest. Check audiosportsonline.net, and we'll have the replay up there. 3rd down and 10 for Plainfield. They lead by 9, 40 seconds remaining. Danville still has a timeout. A first down means the game's over. A stop by Danville means they can at least get the ball back. Here is a give, and John Finch is going to find no room whatsoever as they're stacked at the point of attack, which you pretty much are going to expect. If you're the Danville defense, you know where the ball's going. It's just going to go right up the middle. Russ Sumner will call his 3rd and final timeout as Morgan Hagee's going to be on to kick. So now, if you're the Quakers, you know that Danville may not even send a single safety back to return a punt. They may just send everybody to the line of scrimmage. Down by 2 scores, you need something here, and the only thing you can really do, get the block, recover it in the end zone, and then an onside kick.
Yeah.
So will be interesting to see if the Warriors even elect to send a single safety or if they just simply put 11 men on the line of scrimmage and try to overpower the Quaker punt team. 35 seconds remain. Our score, 23-14. Quakers have led throughout. You can look at this game if you're a Plainfield fan 2 ways. This game could be, the Quakers could be up by a much larger margin, or they've dodged a bullet and the Warriors aren't out in front. Hagee will stand in his own end zone. They will send a single safety back at around the 46-yard line. And it's a bouncing punt. Hagee with a rugby-style kick gets it away. It will take a bounce, and then it'll be picked up at the 35 to the 30. Spinning and making a move is Dylan Boyd, and Boyd will take it all the way down to the 16-yard line, but only 22 seconds remain, and the Warriors are down by 2 scores.
Well, there was a clip back here that they did not see, and I believe he stepped out of bounds at about the 40. But
we may be in an NFL stadium, but they will not be using any replay in this contest.
Nope.
So that is where the Warriors will take over. 1st and 10 from the Quaker 16-yard line, but only 22 seconds remain, and Plainfield is up by 9. Christian Schabel, who's had a pretty decent game. It's been turnovers that have killed the Warriors in this contest. They've put it on the carpet 3 times running the football. This time they'll put 4 wideouts in with Schabel, the lone man in the backfield. He'll roll to his right. Looking, and now we'll just throw it up and throw it away. Schabel had a lot of room. He could have run maybe for some more yardage, but now the clock is down to 13 seconds, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the Quaker 16. Well defended by the Quakers in the secondary. They have their dime package in right now. They had all the Warrior receivers well covered.
Yeah.
Danville out of timeouts. Plainfield still has 2, but 13 seconds remain. Schabel this time will send Jacob Sherrill as a wingback right. Takes the snap, looks, fires over to the right side, and there's going to be a penalty flag as coming in and running over the intended receiver, which was Peyton Perry. Mark Daum just basically ran right over him in the end zone. So it'll be defensive pass interference, but the clock is now down to 8 seconds. It's a 15-yard penalty. Coach Brian Woodard saying that the ball was uncatchable, and now the officials are going to talk about it. be a half the distance to the goal, which will take it down to the Quaker 8-yard line. It will be actually, when it's said and done, 2nd down and 2, but again, only 8 seconds remain in this contest. I want to thank you for joining us for Plainfield Quaker football this afternoon on Audio Sports Online on what might be the final play. Schabel fires over the left side, pass incomplete, knocked away. Daum, who committed the pass interference penalty the play before, this time breaks up the play. It's 3rd and 2 with 4 seconds remaining.
Well, he had to lunge after that. I thought he might have picked it off. He was in position to.
3rd down, maybe time for 2, but this will likely be the final play. Schabel back to pass. Gets pressure. Biddle eludes Bryce Biddle. Now reverses his field. Looks in the end zone. Fires. Incomplete. Mark Daum once again, and a penalty flag comes in. Intended receiver once again was Peyton Perry, and it looks like with the clock reading 000, this game is going to be extended by a play because I think they're going to get Mark Daum again for defensive pass interference. Good job by Christian Schabel to elude Bryce Biddle. Threw back the other way, and yeah, he's in there just a shade early. Coach Brian Woodard, not in agreement, of course. So it will once again be half the distance to the goal. The ball at the 8, so we'll take it down to we have offsetting penalties. They didn't call pass interference. They called offsetting holding penalties, defensive holding and offensive holding. The ball will remain at the 8-yard line, but there will be one untimed down. So the clock reads zeros. In the grand scheme, this game is over as the Quakers lead 23-14. So even if the Warriors can score here, they can go for the 2 points, but the Quakers are going to head back home with their first win of the season. As Schabel and his offense will look over the Quaker defense. And Schabel will be back to pass on the final play of the game, we think. And his pass incomplete. A nice lunging attempt by the wide receiver, Jonathan Curtis, but that will end it as the Plainfield Quakers will head back to Plainfield with their first win of the season as they have defeated the Danville Warriors 23-14. Doug, we said pretty much all along, it's great to get out of here with the win. Danville showed that they're probably going to have some moments where they're going to be pretty decent this year. They're just a little thin. But there's probably a lot more questions to be asked than there were answered tonight.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think Plainfield, the defense is going to have a few more than a few choice words for the offense. And, look what you put us through. And but Danville, the thing about blowout losses, I think, Brian, last week, 61-0, I don't think that the teams are as bad as they look, and consequently, New Pal's probably not that good, not 61 points better, but they were that night, and I think this kind of proves it. Danville came from behind and made it a close ball game and gave some people some jitters, including the cameraman, which he shouldn't.
If you're a Danville fan, take this away from what you've seen tonight. Christian Schabel is a sophomore.
Yeah.
And if he is given some protection, he's going to be a pretty good quarterback for Danville for the next few years. They are just really thin. This is a team that only dressed 38. They've got a lot of players that are having to play both ways. Ben Jones has showed that he's got some running ability. The offensive line was a lot better than, I'll honestly say it, than I thought they were going to be. And the defensive front, at times, they stymied Plainfield rather handily.
Yeah.
That also being said, I think we look at Colin Nicewander. He can make some throws. Colin can when he gets some time, he's shown some really good elusiveness, and he was able to make some throws. The running game at times had some holes, and they made some good yards.
Yeah.
But the 3-and-outs, and especially I think when you go back and look at the film and get ready for Mooresville, Coach Woodard's going to look at these 2 drives that started inside the Danville 15, and they ended up settling for Morgan Hagee field goals. In the end, that proved to be the difference in the game, but you really thinking after getting 2 fumble recoveries deep in your opponent's territory, momentum is all on your side. Yeah. You should be able to punch those in for touchdowns. They had to settle for field goals, but they do leave here with a win.
Yeah, he'll be the first to admit that they left some points on the field. And that's always generally an expression for we didn't score what we wanted to score and what we should have. And but I think that they put their defense in some pretty bad positions. Again, 3-and-outs, I think those are demoralizing, no matter what level you're playing at. And so, but again, like you said before, like Coach Woodard said, this is a very, very young team. Lost a lot of folks last year to graduation, and they really scored well last year. In all of their losses, in their 4-game tailspin to finish at 4-5 during the regular season, they averaged 29 points a game. And, of course, defensively, they didn't stop anybody, and that showed it in the first round of the postseason.
Most coaches will tell you, especially earlier in the season, your offense is always lagging a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to get that chemistry, to get everything in sync. If the Quakers can get a win tonight and then back that up with a win against Mooresville, that could be pretty telling for the rest of their season. The Quakers will come away with the victory this afternoon as they defeat Danville 23-14. You've been watching Quaker football on Audio Sports Online. A reminder, a replay of this game can be found probably tomorrow. Check audiosportsonline.net or also search for our YouTube channel. Once again, Plainfield defeats Danville 23-14 alongside Doug Edens. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you this coming Friday when the Quakers are back at Red Pride Field to take on the Mooresville Pioneers. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Plainfield Varsity Football, powered by AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Beacon Sign Company, Jimmy John's, Niagara Bottling Company, The Hardware Store, 3 Pints Brew Pub, Wicker Construction, Impact Insurance Restoration, Inc., Haynes Roofing, and Plainfield Self-Storage, a subsidiary of Dom Companies.